We're good. This has been the longest 2025, not 2025, a year that I've experienced in quite some time because there's been so much happening. There's been so many different things happening, and it's been so hard to keep up with it. Mind you, we're here in the political spaces. This doesn't take away from other news in other areas when it comes to technology, when it comes to, I don't know, celebrities, if you guys keep up with that, when it comes to other world events. Just in the political space, there's been so much going on, and it's actually ridiculous. This year's been hell on earth just this year. Yeah, yeah. Um, but we're still here. That's the important part. Many of you that I remember from the January days still pop up into the live, show your support, and I appreciate every last one of you. But with that being said, I didn't like yesterday's live. Yesterday's live was a bit much. So we're gonna see if we can get some different conversations going today. Today we're just going to attempt to see if we can have some civility, some common ground, as we so call it. So welcome in everyone. Do all the good things. Let's make sure we get the screen tapped. Let's get us up to 5K, and let's get us up to 5K as soon as possible, and see if we can find some common ground with some Trump supporters. See if we can find some common ground with some Trump supporters. I put here in my taglines, and it's different for both sides, but it's liberal, progressive, whatever you want to call it. Can a liberal, progressive, and a Trump supporter agree? That's the interesting part. Can we agree? I'm of the firm belief that there is more that brings us together than separates us, or at least, I'd like to think that. Maybe that's more so wishful thinking. Because quite frankly, we have quite a lot that divides us. Now, there's an argument to be made that those issues should not be so divisive, that they shouldn't be so controversial, because they typically benefit everyone. But we live in the society that we live in. So with that being said, I'm going to see if we can attempt to find some common ground with people who so aggressively oppose my views, so aggressively oppose the party that I vote alongside with, so aggressively oppose the simple stance of Trump not being the best representation of America. That's the attempt today. And as you guys know, typically when we host these lives, this is Ashwagandha Hector, okay? This is Ashwagandha Hector, which means civility. This means we're not doing crash outs, which means we're going to avoid name calling and all of those good things. So, the floor is yours. I've put my bet in. I've told you how I'm coming today, and it's not going to be with the contention. We are now going to attempt to talk to the other side, and let's see if they can match the same energy. Welcome in everyone over on the tube side. Welcome in. Appreciate every last one of you for being there. Mods, keep it on lock. Thank you so much for watching out, or looking out, I should say. Make sure that you're tapping the screen. Those of you on the TikTok side and on the tube side, make sure you like it on your way here. Like up that stream. All your comments and your engagements are very good. Very good. The algorithm loves engagement. If you're over on this side, on the Tickety Talk, make sure you're sending your daily heart me's. And let's get the show on the road. If you are a Trump supporter and you happen to be under the belief that, yes, there is more that should hold us together than separates us, and then we should be able to find common ground despite voting for two drastically different people with two drastically different views on the country, request up in the box. You are the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you voted for Donald Trump, I want to hear from you, and I want to see what common ground can be found. Is my mod limit maxed out? No idea, but I think I'm good on mods. For example, the common thing that's often brought up in their attempts to typically demean certain groups of individuals is children. Everyone believes that we should be able to find common ground on children, their protection, their upliftment, their education. So you would think that would be an easy place to start. Why is it that when you get into the nitty gritty of how we can better children's lives, how we can make the world that we live in better for them, because some of us only have a couple years. I'm my late 20s, so I'm good. But there's a generation of children that is going to be growing up in a vastly different world from how some older people did. And that's the crazy part for me personally. When you have Republicans that are trying to hold on to the values of their time, the values of their generation, which we know based off of women's rights, slavery, so on and so forth, we're awfully screwed. But they're trying to hold on to these values for a world, a generation that they're not even going to be alive long enough to really experience. Some of the policy that were voted on in the 2024 election were things that you're only going to get so much of, but long term, it's going to be your kids, it's going to be your grandkids that are going to be affected by these things. And that's a little bit insane to me. That's a little bit insane to me. As far as I'm concerned, we should be setting up the future generation for a better world, which by default would also help you. I do not think that the things that were voted on in the 2024 election, the winning candidate has the future in mind for anyone, quite frankly. I don't think that's a fair thing to say at all. So, yeah, I don't know what that's about. Vincent, I don't engage with Russian bots. Here's another thing. I'm not sure how many of you guys are aware of the Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I still call it Twitter. When Twitter for a moment pushed out that update that showed the origin and location of many accounts, and that what we found was several MAGA accounts, several third-party accounts were not even rooted or based in the United States. We had Russia, we had Uganda, we had like so many different other countries where all these accounts that are parading themselves as American patriots who are trying to advocate for American values and American law weren't even from here. Now, I'm not saying international correspondents can't have opinions or better yet, even better ideas for what could make America great. You know, that's not what I'm saying at all. But oftentimes when we've come to these propaganda machines, they're not here in the country. And we've known this for some time. We have the sanctions on Russian and Iranian entities. We have the reports that came out of how they're involved in our group chats on video games. It gets crazy. It gets very, very crazy. So one thing I'm learning is that typically when you see certain comments, it's almost without fail, you can identify them as being a bot, as being a Russian bot. That's how that works. So I'm getting to a point in my life where I'm just only going to be engaging with real people. And the real people are the people who request stuff. That's how that works. I'm done picking at comments of literal Russian bots. I know about the Twitter thing. That was hilarious. I engaged them to get them to request stuff. That's valid, and that makes perfect sense. But that being said, if you are a Trump supporter, request up in the box. The attempt of this live is to see what we can find common ground on. If you're over on the Tube side, you cannot request up, but you may call in the number on screen. We have the Google Voice number set up, and that's going to be 737-295-5321. So call in and request up. Better yet, if I can get a mod to test it out real quick, I would greatly appreciate it. But to my knowledge, it should be working. But it's better to be safe than sorry. Much better to be safe than sorry. How in the world are these two things separate? That's weird. It's actually weird. 1 second here. I'm trying to fix that. There we go. Am I a bot or just a cishet white man? I think you're the only one who can answer that question, buddy. I think you're the only one who can answer that question for yourself. I don't think I can tell you whether you're a bot or not. Just my thoughts. Just my thoughts. I don't think I can tell you which one you are. There we go. I got it fixed. Boom. Got it fixed. Maybe both is actually crazy. But no, I think we can find common ground on protecting children. And how we protect children is, in one way, setting them up for the future, not leaving them a world that they can barely survive in. I believe there were several reports that came out. One was specifically by Chase Morgan, that showed that the average price for someone who owns a home, the average age for an individual who owns a home is going to be in their late 30s. We know specifically for men, it's typically their 40s where they start to see financial success. That's not good. It's not good at all. There was a post and someone shared this in the Discord recently. There was a post that was made by the Department of the Treasury. Actually, I'm gonna show it to you guys. I'm going to show it to you guys because this was comical. This was comical. Now, I want to start off by saying I am in no way, shape, or form an economics expert. Okay? I'm not. But there are certain basics that I understand. And maybe you do too. So I'm going to put this up for you guys to see what the Department of the Treasury was putting out. I think that was a goal, so it should be working. Yep. We know it works. Thank you for whoever called in. I'm not sure if you were friendly or in opposition who chickened out. We're not sure. But with that being said, yes, thank you, Nini. Mel, tap the screen. Tap the screen. All you guys in your profile pictures, the purple ones, I keep mixing them up. And let's put this up here. Here we go. There we go. So this was posted.
God bless you.
Oh, shit. Thank you, Erica, for knocking out our gift gallery for this week. Thank you so much. That is all of the gifts that we needed for the gift gallery. We just had the DJ glasses. Big W's to Erica in the chat, y'all. Big W's to Erica in the chat. Appreciate you so much for your support. So this was a post that was put up, and I only saved the picture. So let me get it up for the Tube side as well. But this was posted by the Department of the Treasury. Okay? And I'm going to read the caption to you guys in a second. I just want to get the picture up. Okay. There we go. Should be up for everyone. Now we're going to read the title. U.S. Treasuries are having their best year since 2020, and the investors who had confidence and faith in President Trump's economic policies have been richly rewarded. Never bet against POTUS or America. Okay. 10-year Treasury note, constant maturity total return index, sources the United States Department of the Treasury and Haver Analytics. So, I have a question for everybody. Bond markets returns are that high. Is that a good thing? Is that a good thing long term? What I find to be embarrassing about this propaganda machine of this administration is they will put out damning evidence of their own mediocrity, and they'll do it with a smile. They'll do it with their full chest. They will do it unapologetically. And then they'll look at you like you're crazy for saying, hey, that's not good. That doesn't help anyone. Or better yet, if it does help certain people, we know who those people are. It's going to be the 1%. But they'll still do it with their full chest, unapologetically. It's like listening to someone go, listen, man, 2 + 2 is 5. Yeah, bet you didn't know that one, huh? That's how they operate. And I'm like, what world do we live in? Why are we doing this? We have DHS bragging openly about the detainments and deportations of innocent civilians, despite the fact that the campaign ran off of criminals. They ran off of getting the worst of the worst out of the country. Yet we've seen several reports come out and show they're getting people for having no crimes at all or traffic violations. I don't know about you, and I'm going to go ahead and say it. Maybe this is a contentious take. I don't care if your status is undocumented or not. The last thing I'm worried about is a traffic violation. The last thing I'm worried about is going 7 miles over the speed limit. The last thing I'm worried about is one of those damn, what do you call them? Which they're not really enforceable, to be clear. Those cameras that they put at traffic stops that like snap you if you like go through a red light, whatever, those aren't enforceable. Like they'll rack up fines and they'll send it to a credit agency. But it's little stuff like that this administration is attempting to use to go, this person is a criminal. This person shouldn't be here. And I've always said this, and I feel like it's a fair response. If I'm going after the worst of the worst, that's what I would be posting on my X feeds, on my websites, out in the media, Fox News, CNN. I would be showing, hey, this person who was robbing banks, who was unaliving women, who was doing all these different things, we caught him, we're deporting him. But instead, we get the complete opposite. Now, with that being said, I want to make it abundantly clear that we know that Trump has very much deported people who have committed crimes here, heinous crimes in this country, because every administration does. This isn't exclusive. However, The majority of them, not so much. With that being said, we have our first guest up. Fred, did you vote for Donald Trump?
I certainly did.
Alrighty. And what do you think we can find common ground on?
Probably not much, to be honest. I think that the two different ideologies are fairly antithetical. I mean, any party that tells you that men can have babies is sort of beyond reason, in my opinion.
Okay. So, don't you find it counterproductive to join a live with someone who's making an attempt to find common ground with someone who thinks drastically different from them and immediately open up with transphobia?
No, I have no fear of no transsexual in any way, shape, or form.
Do you know that the definition of phobia doesn't just equate to fear, correct?
What does it equate to then?
A fear or aversion to.
Okay, so sounds like I was pretty clear when I said I fear no transsexual.
Sure, but then there would still be an aversion to a transgender individual, which would still encompass the word phobia.
So are you going to try to convince me that men can have babies? Is that what you're trying to do?
Absolutely not.
Because
I actually have a different take than a lot of other people on
That's a
this.
liberal ideology. I'm not following.
I don't find the need to argue with people about what they believe men and women are. I think our definitions of what constitutes masculinity and femininity are skewed to begin with, so I really don't care. I come from a very different place, and I want to see if at least you can agree with me on this. I think here in the United States, we're one of the freest countries in the world. Is that being threatened? Yes, but we're one of the freest countries in the world to where you can live however you want to live. You can do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be, so long as it doesn't violate certain laws. And I think if there's any country where people should be allowed to comfortably live out their best selves, whether you agree with it or not, it should be here in the United States.
Yeah. And
that's my position. I think that's a fair position to be on.
I think where we differ is you want me to be obligated to somebody else's delusion, and I'm not going to be, because I have the freedom of choice in this free land. So if you want to dress or behave or represent yourself any way you want, you're open to that, but that doesn't obligate me to your delusion.
I don't know what about anything I said required you to acknowledge anyone's identity. I don't think anything that I said, or better yet, any trans person has ever made that a requirement of their existence. In fact, I know of them.
It just happened to me yesterday.
I know of them politely asking to be left alone.
I was just told that I misgendered somebody yesterday. That was very clearly a man.
Okay.
And they let me know that they weren't a man. So,
okay.
For you to say that nobody's ever said that is
I didn't say that. That wasn't my claim. What I specifically said is that no one required or mandated you to do it. And as you gave in that example, they said you misgendered them, but there is nothing, especially legally, that would require you to call them by their preferred pronouns. I mean, I would do it just not to be an asshole, but you clearly don't think that way.
No, I'm not going to lie for somebody else's delusion.
I'm not going to lie. Okay. So
I'm not going to call you something that you're not. I mean, if I sat here and said that you were a Cambodian, would you accept that?
I think there's a difference between nationality
that would be a lie, wouldn't
gender.
That would be a lie, wouldn't it?
Yes, you'd be lying about my nationality versus someone's gender.
So why would anybody want to do that? Doesn't that discredit them right out of the gate?
I don't think you heard what I said. So I'm gonna repeat myself.
I don't think you heard what I said.
You'd be lying about my nationality versus someone's gender. There would be two different things.
What makes one lie better than the other?
Again, one would be a lie. Ready yet? Let me ask you this. What makes you...
You just got stuck.
No, I didn't. I literally just clarified. I said one wouldn't be a lie. You tried to give a false equivalency to someone's nationality. I think you know which one wouldn't be a lie. It would be the gender of the person that you misgendered.
No, it would be a lie. There's no such thing as a penis-wielding woman. It doesn't exist.
Okay. Do you know the difference between sex
woman.
And gender?
I do.
What is the difference?
Opinion. Soft sciences.
Okay. So I want you to hear me out. Because I'm going to explain to you how, I don't think you even realize this, how you would have just destroyed your own argument. Okay? So you said the difference between sex and gender is an opinion.
Correct.
So if there is no objective opinion or objective fact,
it would be subjective
based off of the difference between sex and gender, then what grounds would you have to invalidate someone else's gender based off of your opinion on what gender is? Would that not just support my argument, which is here in America, and it should be abroad, live how you want to live, and my disagreement with it wouldn't be based off of an actual delusion, it would be based off of my opinion on what men and women are.
Yeah, and your opinion does not obligate me, is the bottom line. Either you don't realize.
Yes, no one's opinion obligates anyone to do anything or address anyone in a way. I am. You keep making the point because you're adding words that I've never said. Okay, and I have been following this conversation. Hence why I'm responding to what you said. Yes, you literally were, because you said I'm not following the conversation. You're responding to things that I haven't said or points that I never made.
I haven't spoken for you one time.
Okay, finish your point.
Yeah, so whatever your opinion may be does not obligate me to that same perspective. And for that very example, you can't give me a single objective measure that would justify or quantify the gender differential that somebody's opinion of themselves.
Well, no, we can't talk about objective measures anymore because you said it's all about opinion. So that's completely out of the conversation.
Well, of course, it's all about opinion. That's
right. So I don't know why I don't know why you're trying to bring objective opinions into this conversation now, because you said it's or objective facts or reality. Because you said it's about opinion.
Point.
You said it's about opinion. Right. So based off the entire point being that sex and gender, according to you, it was your words, opinions. Then it is your opinion.
No, I didn't say sex.
It is your opinion. Right. Gender. That's correct. It is your opinion. Well, you said. Well, never mind. It is your opinion to invalidate someone's gender based off of whatever preconceived biases that you have.
No, I never said anything about invalidating.
That's exactly what you're doing, because you brought up an example. Well, you brought up an example of someone who said that you misgendered them, and then you said that you will not give in to their delusions, correct?
I will not be obligated to their delusions.
Yeah, no one obligated you to do anything. That can't be done. If you think
you're a giraffe and you want me to refer to
you
as
got
a
you.
giraffe,
And you choose,
I'm not gonna play your game.
to invalidate someone's gender by not acknowledging them as such based off of your preconceived biases that form your opinion.
I'm not invalidating you believing you're a giraffe. I'm just not accepting your representation of yourself as a giraffe.
Certainly.
That's not invalidating.
So with that being said,
your opinion of being a giraffe is your opinion.
Sure. You can keep talking about animals and humans. To go ahead, by all means. But I just want to point out once again that you're choosing to be this way, despite the fact that it doesn't impact your life in any way, shape, or form, despite the fact that there is nothing that mandates or requires you to acknowledge anyone based off their preferred pronouns. And I really don't know why you guys keep making that argument.
Because
if you choose to interact with a transgender individual, then you would be choosing out of respect to acknowledge them as who they are. If you choose not to do so, then I would just advise that you stay away from them.
Yeah, I am. That's just the point, is I am acknowledging them for who they are, and somehow or another that's triggering when they want me to acknowledge them as something that they're not.
So here's where the hiccup comes into play. Because based off of your opinions, based off of your preconceived biases and phobias, you choose to vote against them.
Yeah, I don't know why you keep using the word phobia. I have no fear of no transsexual.
Didn't we go over the definition of phobia earlier?
Yeah, and I told you I have
what
no fear
was that
of any
definition?
Transsexual.
What was the
No
definition?
fear of any homosexual.
What was the definition that I gave you?
Fear or aversion.
Fear or aversion. So why do you keep saying fear? Why do you keep banking it on fear when we established that allegedly, according to you, it wouldn't be fear?
You're saying that I am afraid or averse.
No,
to
I said you have a phobia, and then
people.
averse would be the second part of that definition. You keep highlighting fear.
No, I just answered you and said a fear or an aversion. I don't have
You
either.
just answered me based off of fear and aversion because I'm the one who clarified upon you keep saying when you keep saying fear that it's a fear or aversion. The reason why we're going over the definition again is
Here,
because you
let me say it
literally
again
said I
slower.
have no fear of trans
Let me
people when
let me say
fear
it
is
again
not the
slower.
only thing that would constitute a phobia of them.
Let me say it again slower, and I'll use smaller words. I
I'm
have no
sorry. If there's
fear
anyone
or
struggling here is with
aversion.
words or definitions, it's not
I have
me. But
no
go ahead.
fear. I have no fear or no aversion to any delusional human being or any homosexual or any
So there
anything.
it is. There it is.
There what is?
Your aversion to their identity, your aversion to acknowledging who they are.
No, that's not who they are. That's the
Yes.
point.
And then you
No,
just
they're
gave an
triggered.
example. No, no, no. You
They're
just gave an
triggered.
example of you not choosing to acknowledge someone's gender because they said that you misgendered them.
No, I didn't
Why
misgender
do you
them.
use
I was
everyone
right.
else's pronouns but trans people?
I use correct pronouns for people for
Okay, my
whatever they
correct
are.
pronouns are he.
Okay, so I'll call you he.
Okay, and then a trans
If you
woman's
asked me
correct
to call
pronouns would
you a
be
she
she.
or a they, I would still call you he.
Okay, so then there's your aversion. There's your
No,
phobia.
that's not my aversion.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Because
It's
you
an
again you
acknowledgement.
rooted
It's
you
an
rooted this
acknowledgement
all.
of truth.
No,
It's an
no.
acknowledgement of truth
Hold on. What's your name
that
again?
undermines.
Fred.
It's an acknowledgement of
A
truth that
couple
undermines
minutes
the
into this
delusion that
conversation,
you're
Fred.
trying to push on other people.
Fred, a couple minutes into this conversation, you didn't base anything off of truth. You said the difference between sex and gender is opinion. That's what you started off this
No,
conversation
no.
with.
I
That's what
said
you
gender is
did.
an opinion.
Gender is an opinion. Why would gender
That's
be
right.
an opinion? And first off, my
Because
question specifically is what's the difference between sex and gender? Do you know the difference? And you said yes.
it's not objectively quantifiable.
Okay. Let's do a quick recap because I want to make sure you're following. I asked you, do you know the difference between sex and gender? You said yes, opinion and something else. That was your words. So,
Fact and
with
opinion.
that being said, no, you don't get. Now you're adding facts. So are you changing your argument?
No, I'm not. My argument hasn't changed one bit.
Yes, it has.
You're
Because you
just
said
not
the
able to
difference between
understand
sex
it.
and gender was opinion.
No, you just can't understand it.
I can't understand it. Okay.
I never said the difference between sex and gender
No
was
problem.
opinion.
I got you. No
I
problem.
said gender
No
was
problem.
opinion.
No problem. Give me a second.
And you're trying to change my words into
No
something
problem
that I
whatsoever.
didn't say.
No problem whatsoever. So we're gonna get exactly what you said. Actually, we're gonna get exactly what you said. Guys, continue to tap the screen. There's about 121 of you in here, so let's get the likes up to 50K. Also, we're gonna keep setting these little gift goals to the 1 cent things, so let's make sure we knock those out as soon as possible. Best ways to support the platform, of course, are going to be the links in the bio. Thank you everyone for being here. Those of you on the tube side, make sure you like the stream and do all the good things over there. I appreciate your support. So what we're going to do, Mr. Fred, I'm currently dual streaming on the tube side. And over here on the tube side, I can replay some of the guests. And this is something I've had to do quite a few times because I seem to always be in this predicament where I will repeat what someone said and then their words back to me is that I never said it. So just give me one moment. We're going to find it. Let's find it here. Oh, this is the wrong stream. Where
That's a liberal ideology.
I don't find the need to argue with people about what they believe men and women are. I think our definitions of what constitutes masculinity and femininity are skewed. Be allowed to comfortably live out their best selves, whether.
So if you want to dress or behave, a man.
Okay.
And they let me know that they weren't a man.
Between getting close. Nationality.
That would be a lie, wouldn't it? That would be a lie, wouldn't it?
Yes, you'd be lying about my nationality. Wasn't it before this?
Other.
I think it was before this.
Why would anybody want to do that? You're not going to find it because what you're saying is
sure. Yeah, we'll get it.
Would you accept that?
I think there's a.
No, I'm not.
No. I mean, and as you gave in that example, They said you misgendered them. Oh, so after this, actually.
Penis wielding woman. It doesn't exist.
Okay. Do you know the difference? Here we go. The person that you misgendered.
No, it would be a lie. There's no such thing as a penis wielding woman. It doesn't exist.
Okay. Do you know the difference between sex and gender?
I do.
What is the difference?
Opinion. Soft sciences.
There it is. Opinions and soft sciences.
Yeah.
So I asked you the difference between sex and gender.
That hasn't changed anything. That hasn't changed anything that I've said.
Well, I think it would. No, it hasn't changed anything you said. You were the only one who was trying to change what you said. I knew what you said. But you said the difference between, or you answered to the difference between sex and gender being opinions and soft sciences. Now, you'd only be incorrect about one of those things specifically, but I decided to go off of your difference and your definitions of said differences. And now we're here. Now you're trying to fall back on truth and fact and objective reality. The problem with that is that you didn't start off this conversation as such. Now, I have no problems with all of it being opinions and soft sciences because I quite frankly don't care what people choose to identify as. I think we have a guy in the Oval Office who thinks he's a big shot, and I would say he's a trans clown. No disrespect to the trans community. With that being said, it is what it is. I think here in this country, the last thing we should be worried about is what people identify as versus the real issues that we have with education, with economics, with infrastructure and wars and funding to said wars, so on and so forth. I feel like that's a very common ground thing.
So are you trying to shift the conversation?
No, I'm not.
Do you want to talk about wars now?
No, I just brought up some points, which was tied into my main point, which is I don't care what people identify as, and I refuse to invalidate anyone's existence based off of my preconceived biases and opinions.
You still haven't given me an objective measure of gender.
I can't give you an objective measure of gender.
Oh, so it's an opinion.
Are social constructs opinions?
Welcome to the conversation.
Are social constructs opinions?
What social construct are you referring to?
The one that we're talking about.
Yeah, I've said very clearly that your gender is based on opinion.
Are social constructs opinions?
Not all of them.
Tell me what social construct is not an opinion.
What social construct is not an opinion? How about whether or not we're at war? Either we're factually at war or we're not. Just to use
so that wouldn't be a social construct.
Well, sure it would. War is a social construct. War is the result of two sides disagreeing and going to kinetic action.
The disagreement and then the war aftermath of said disagreement would not be a social construct.
It would be. It wouldn't exist if it wasn't for social dynamics.
Sure, if it wasn't for the social dynamics, we wouldn't have war, but that wouldn't make war in and of itself a social construct.
Or disagreement.
The disagreement is different from the war that would ensue after said disagreement.
Yeah,
the societal differences, right? The mental differences and whatever disagreements they may have on said issues that would lead into the war, that would be two different things.
That's right, because you're either at war or you're not, and whether you are or you're not is the result of social dynamics in a social construct.
Yes, the war would not be a social construct, though. Social constructs lead to said wars. Yes.
Okay.
And other factors.
It's not an opinion. You are or you are not.
Again, the reason why we're here is because you said war is a social construct. I was just clarifying.
Yeah, you said give me a social construct that
and war would not be the social construct.
And that isn't an opinion. And whether or not you're at war is not an opinion.
No.
You either factually
do I need to play it back
war,
again? Oh my God.
You either factually are at war or you are factually not at war. It doesn't exist. Social construct. So are you trying to shift the conversation?
No, I'm
you want to talk about wars now?
No, I just brought up some points, which was tied into my main point, which is I don't care what people identify as of gender.
Come to the conversation.
Are social constructs opinions?
What social construct are you referring to?
The one that we're talking about.
Yeah, I've said very clearly that your gender is based on opinion.
Are social constructs opinions?
Not all of them.
Tell me what social construct is not an opinion.
What social construct is not an opinion? How about whether or not we're at war? Either we're factually at war or we're not. Just to use
So that wouldn't be a social construct.
Well, sure. Seems pretty clear.
Fred,
You're struggling with it because it undermines your point, and I know that cognitive dissonance is a challenge.
Fred, I'm not the one struggling with this conversation. I think I've shown several times now, but twice specifically when I replay your own words that you don't understand what's happening in this conversation.
Yeah, I understood them very well. Not only when I said them, but what they mean.
Okay.
Unfortunately, this is why we can't find common ground, because you want people to believe shit that's not true.
I don't disagree, Fred. This is exactly.
And you want people to.
This
and
is
you want
exactly
people
why
to
we can't
accept
find
things
common
that
ground.
aren't true.
I want you to accept the fact that war is not a social construct, but social constructs constitutes many wars, if not most, if not all.
Yeah, war is very definitely a social construct.
You just did it again, my guy. You just said it again, and we just clarified how that's not true.
No, you didn't.
Fred.
War is a social construct.
Fred, what state are you in, if you don't mind me asking? Don't give me a specific location. D.C. or Washington?
Washington State.
Washington State. Okay.
But I've spent a lot of time in D.C.
Spent a lot of time in D.C. Do you talk to people in public?
All the time.
Do you? How do those conversations go? I'm curious if the reasoning that you used here on this panel is the same reasoning you use with the general populace.
Just fine. It is actually, yeah.
Great. And does no one else maybe have some comments about your cognitive dissonance?
Never, actually. It's usually some purple-haired loon with a septum ring that has a problem with it.
Well, apparently the purple-haired loon with the septum ring is the only people willing to call you out on your contradictions.
No, usually they're quite delusional themselves.
Great. I want to get back to the point, and I see the request. We're going to get somebody up in here in a moment. Why can't you simply agree that everyone should be allowed to live exactly how they want, whether you acknowledge it or not, and there should be no law passed against them here in the United States?
Yeah, I can agree to that. I already did agree to that.
Okay. Well,
I said you can be anything that you want to be. You just can't obligate me to your delusion.
And I want to reiterate that in no way, shape, or form has anyone ever been obligated to do such.
And I explained to you that wasn't true. When somebody tells you, when a man obviously
I
tells
can
you
tell you anything. That doesn't mean you're obligated to acknowledge me as such.
A woman,
Fred,
when a man tells you
Fred,
that they're, when an obvious man tells you that they're
Fred,
a woman.
What law obligates you in that scenario that you gave? What law obligates you to respond to that person and say, yes, sir? Or you said it was a trans woman?
It was a man dressed as a
trans woman. Got you. So what law obligates you to say yes, ma'am, to that person?
There is no law that obligates me to that.
So with that being said, you keep bringing up falsehoods that there's some type of obligation when there's not.
No, the person telling you that you have to address them that way is the obligation that I'm discussing.
No, it's not. I can tell you anything. That doesn't make you obliged to acknowledge it. What?
Yeah, and I won't. I'm not going to lie.
So then you're incorrect.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to lie for your delusion. You want to tell me you're a woman, you can tell me you're a woman. It doesn't mean that I have to believe you.
Guys, I just want to let y'all know then when I start
This
these
is why
lives,
we can't
and I
disagree.
choose to be ashwagandha Hector, and I choose to be civil, and I choose not to yell, and I choose not to call names, that this shit is very fucking hard. Very fucking hard. Because I feel like I'm being gaslit.
It's a great
I
illustration.
feel like I'm being gaslit to the point where I'm having to replay my own lives, even though I know damn well what he said and what I said. I'm having to replay it back in his face.
Yeah, I've said it very clearly, and I haven't shifted.
Thank you, Feisty, for the $25 on Venmo. Big W's to Feisty for the $25. This pink-haired hottie thinks he's disgusting. Oh, got you. Yeah, Feisty. Like I said, I'm choosing not to say certain words and say certain things about people when I'm hosting these lives, but I can't say I disagree with your sentiment. Can we get some W's in the chat for Feisty? Some big W's in the chat for Feisty. I appreciate your support so much. That puts us up to 25 of our goal today. Thank you, everyone. Cash App and Venmo and PayPal links are in the bio if you want to support this stream. At this point, it's going towards my Boba and Ashwagandha fund. Fred, so again,
I think it's a perfect illustration
can you explain
why we can't agree.
Sure. Can you explain to me how someone telling you that you misgendered them is an obligation of you to not misgender them?
It's a request for me to lie for their delusion, which I refuse to do.
It's a request for you to okay. So if that's your belief, how is the request an obligation?
It's not.
So then,
God bless you.
Fred,
Yo.
Have the day you deserve. Real quick before we get into the next guest, we're just passing 51,000 likes. There's 145 of you in here. Double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up to 75K. Let's do that as fast as possible. Thank you, everyone, for your donations so far, whether it's through the TikTok goals, your heart me's, or the gingerbreads that we have going on. I appreciate every last one of you. We're going to continue to keep this civil. As much as I want to say all kinds of things, we're going to keep this ashwagandha. But I feel like I lost brain cells during that conversation. Hawks, did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yeah, I voted Trump.
What do you think we can find common ground on?
Do you want to go first? Because I'm not sure.
You can take a moment to think on it.
Oh no, I just wanted to see if you wanted to suggest a topic first.
Sure.
Because honestly, yeah, you know how divided things are politically in this country right now. I really don't know, man.
All right, I think we can find a common ground on religious liberty and everyone having the right to practice whatever religion they so choose. The government not appealing to anyone specifically. I think we should be able to find common ground on that.
Yeah. So I think that actually separation of church and state, actually, even as a conservative, I do think that's something that we can find some common ground on. I do think that even though I'm from Texas and I'm conservative, I don't necessarily think that the 10 Commandments should be in public schools. I don't necessarily think that we have to teach the Bible in public schools. I do believe in separation of church and state and secular education that gives kind of an overview of all religions and just is very objective and unbiased.
Certainly. I don't disagree with that whatsoever. Unfortunately, we're kind of under administration that somewhat spearheads Christian nationalism. But so far, I don't think we can say there's anything federally necessarily that he's pushed. But we can definitely see that red states have been emboldened since the start of his administration, such as Oklahoma, Texas, is it Alabama or Mississippi, that have done exactly what you just said, which is putting Bibles in schools, and some even going as far as trying to mandate biblical reading outside of religious classes, in which case you would explore all the different faiths and what their books would entail.
Yeah, and those are valid concerns, but I think that Christians have valid concerns over certain things happening, particularly in Michigan. We do see that in some Muslim communities in Dearborn, Michigan, them doing calls to prayer, and they are having prayer in public spaces, and also doing demonstrations where they slap their chest. I forgot the exact name of it. And I think Christians have valid concerns over these things because those calls to prayer, they violate noise ordinances. Sometimes these Muslims, when they put down the mat and they all pray, sometimes they are violating some type of laws too, with not obstructing roads or walkways or public spaces that are not supposed to be obstructed. And I think those are valid concerns that I guess non-Muslims, not just Christians, but a lot of American non-Muslims would have about, and I do believe that Muslims have the freedom of religion, but it does seem like they are doing some things that are kind of, publicizing, kind of putting on display, kind of trying to take up space as Muslims.
I find
in
it
a way
interesting.
that obstructs things and violates noise ordinances.
You started off talking about public spaces and public prayers, which a Christian would be allowed to do. A Christian would also be allowed to publicly go out by a road and hold up their signs. Jesus is King. He's coming back, so on and so forth. So I'm a little confused. I'm aware of the concerns. This is often brought up in these conversations of some things that were supported by city law. But even then, that would be what people would have voted on, and not federal preferential treatment of any one faith.
Yeah, this is at this point more of a local, I guess, something that's a valid concern that I think that people in Michigan have. Particularly those calls to prayer can be pretty loud, and they violate noise ordinances because they start them as early as 5 a.m. And usually
we have the biggest churches that
violate.
ring a super loud bell in downtown cities every time they start or end service.
Yeah, it's mostly the time because usually the church bells ring when they start church service after a time that doesn't violate a noise ordinance is when they start a
right. So I'm unaware
service.
of Muslim calls to prayer violating any noise ordinances. This would be what? No noise after what? 10 p.m.
Usually it's after 8 a.m. These noise ordinances usually go from anywhere from 9 or 10 p.m. to 6, 7, 8 a.m. It just kind of depends on where you live.
Do you have an example of any of these noise ordinances being violated? And if they were violated, that nothing was done about it? Thank you, Maria, for the gingerman.
I guess I would say that I think...
God bless you.
Say that again?
In Dearborn, Michigan, we've seen a lot of Muslims be elected to positions of power where I guess if non-Muslims did want to change the rules, they see a lot of obstacles with Muslims in power. And
is it not the same with Christians?
What are Christians trying to do that is kind of obstructing or violating?
Well, again, you haven't necessarily proven that Muslims are trying to do that. But in the example that you just gave, if there are enough Christians were on these boards and Christians were in these councils, that would make it difficult for Muslims to do what they would like to further their religious freedom, right? That's just kind of how that works.
Well, I think stopping somebody from building a mosque would be a violation of freedom of religion. But having common sense noise ordinances and laws
again,
that
you keep going back to the noise
public
ordinances. I am unaware of any noise ordinance being violated, or better yet, if it was, that the people in question would not have been held accountable.
Well, what we've seen is a lot of Muslims get elected in Dearborn, Michigan.
You said that.
That basically
you said that
allow
already.
these things to just keep happening at the expense of
You
non-Muslims.
can't keep saying it keeps happening when you haven't substantiated said thing happening, and then no accountability.
Okay, I'll shift. I think that it maybe that noise ordinance doesn't exist anymore in Dearborn.
Really quickly, is there anyone in the chat from Michigan or Dearborn or near Dearborn? Like, what am I missing here? I feel like I'm missing something. because I've had these conversations about Dearborn, and it's the same thing. It's alleged fears, it's concerns that Christians have. I am unaware of anything substantial taking place in Michigan that are actually threatening the rights of Christians. And I think if there was any administration that would bring it to light, it would be this one. So what am I missing?
Well, not just in Michigan, but also in Ohio, we see a lot of immigration fraud. In Minnesota too. A lot of these
Immigration
communities,
fraud?
there's rampant immigration fraud.
Elaborate. You said
A lot of them come
immigration
illegally.
fraud.
A lot of them lie on applications and come illegally, and
Well,
they bring people over that they say are like family that aren't really family.
Can you give me an example of this immigration fraud? I'm not denying that there's probably some there. Sure, there's fraud in every department, but you highlighted this one for a reason.
I haven't done much of a deep dive into it yet. It is something that I touched on, but I haven't really.
So then how can you say there's a lot of
I don't
it?
have already pulled up sources necessarily on me.
So then how can
my
you say
phone.
there's a lot of it?
It's just what I read.
Then you would Thank you guys for passing 60K likes. Let's get us up to 75K. Let's do that as fast as possible. Thank you all for your support. If you're a team member, make sure you're sending your daily heart me's. And guys, check out the links in my bio here on the Tickety Talk. It's going to show you the shop that I have available. Currently wearing the Comlo Would Never hoodie. It's going to show you the other social media platforms that you can subscribe and follow to. We're currently dual streaming on the Tube right now. The Discord server and all the good things. Erica, what's up?
Hey, brother. How are you?
I don't like how you said that.
Brother, I'm practicing it.
No.
I'm practicing on how to say it. Brother.
Brother.
Hey, Hector.
Hello,
Brother.
brother.
Awkward. No, I'm promising to behave myself today. Yesterday I was a bit unhinged.
You heard me
Hi,
crash out.
Hawks. Yeah. Hi, Hawks. Hi. Okay, so you've made a lot of claims here in regards to Dearborn, Michigan, um, but you haven't substantiated any of them. Do you have a report, any data, an article, anything that we
God
can
bless
actually
you.
read, go over to, give credence to your claims here? All right,
Thank you,
he's
Bree.
looking for it.
Great. If there are any Trump supporters who would like to have this conversation, request up in the box, whether it's about the alleged Muslim ordinances or ordinances that was violated by Muslims or any other conversation. Request up in the box. You're the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the Tube side, you may call in the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Thank you all for knocking out this gingerbread goal. I'm going to go ahead and reset it to another little 5-cent gifts. So keep doing all the good things. Show the algorithm you want to be here.
No.
Wait, what?
He left.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He
did.
skedaddled.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Well, there's that. Maybe he'll be back. Maybe.
I had that effect on people for some reason. I'm so sorry.
No, I think he left because that's kind of a common thing whenever we get real specific about sources. But we have the next guest up here.
He wasn't far.
1 second. Doll. 1 second. We're getting to you. I promise you. You just got here. Let's reset. Doll 47 Protector. Wait. Can you elaborate on your name?
Yeah, protector of the faith.
Oh, the cross. I see. Protector of the... Okay. Christianity, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Protector of Christianity. Okay.
Yes.
We'll get back to that in a second. Doll 47. I think it's a safe assumption that you voted for Trump, correct?
That's correct.
Got you. What do you think we can find common ground on?
Oh, Israel. We could find common ground on not liking Trump's decision with Venezuela.
Let's do one at a time. So you said Israel, and I'm actually going to say no, and here's why. So typically, I'm starting to realize. Chat, tell me if I'm wrong here. I'm starting to realize that when some of us on our side say Israel, and then some people on the other side say Israel, we dislike the situation for two vastly different things. Okay.
No.
So when I say, um, I have a disdain for Israel. It's not necessarily Israel, or more so, it's not real. Anyway, it's for the Netanyahu Bibi Netanyahu establishment, right? The warmongering, the G side. That's my disagreement there.
That's
The
what
fact
the
that
same is for
millions,
people. Yeah.
billions actually, of taxpaying dollars goes into their universal health care. Meanwhile, we're sitting here arguing that would bring up prices. Like those are the things that
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
appreciate.
and that's the people on the right too.
Okay. Okay. Maybe that's you, but can we say that there's a large portion of people on your side of the aisle that are anti-Semitic?
No, I don't think that. I think that's another fever. I think that's another fever dream, like how they want us to believe that
Thank you, Shauna, for the
Antifa
finger hearts.
is like this big operating, smart, super organized, sophisticated T group. It's kind of the same kind of mishmash.
Wouldn't say it's the same, but yeah, you'd be correct. Antifa isn't this big institution that
Yeah.
the Trump administration is alleging it to be. Um, so we're denying anti-Semitism from the right.
Well, I think it's getting really nutty because I was seeing how other Jews were being accused of being anti Semitic when they were protesting in Israel because they didn't like that their, um, prime minister was, being bought,
Well, certainly that wouldn't be
basically.
anti-Semitism.
Well, that's what I mean. Like people are being told other Jews are being told they're anti Semitic by other Jews.
Okay,
It's getting nutty.
let's get specific. Zoran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York City, was
No,
accused.
but first, would you agree, host, that that's a little nutty?
Sure. Zoran Mamdani was accused of anti-Semitism by several Republican leaders, all the way up until the White House administration, based off the fact that he would have he showed opposition to Bibi Netanyahu, based off the
Well,
fact that.
because that's all political theater, right? He was a very smart politician where he wasn't going to say, I condemn these people and not these people. He was very smart.
Okay, well, whether it's theater or not, anti-Semitism is anti-Semitism. They would made false allegations against him to demean his character and his campaign.
Well, they do that all the time. That's what politics is. It's a lot of theater.
Well, there's attacking people based off of their harmful positions or things we can estimate will not be substantial for the country, and then there's lies.
Well, I think that it's all the same. Like if Mondami's being lied on, it's like that's fine with people to accept, but why is it so far stretched for, you know, other people that aren't of Mondami's ethnicity to, not be falsely accused of such a thing
Like who?
for just criticizing things of the Israeli government?
Well, sure. I think no one here is opposing criticism of the Israeli government.
Well, it seems like some people are allowed to do it and some people aren't. And if you have white skin, you're immediately a schmatzi.
Okay. So when you say some people are allowed to do it and some people aren't, are you saying that white people specifically can't criticize Israel versus
Yep, and
other
and
races?
Muslims. And Muslims. We are forbidden from talking or critiquing anything of Israeli government because immediately people will say that you are this.
Okay,
I have a question.
go ahead.
Yeah, have you considered I'm gonna put this. Have you considered is what's being said that makes people then conclude that you are either being racist or that you have maybe schmatzy sympathies? Have you thought about that?
What I'm sorry. I don't know what you're asking me.
Like what the words that you're using, what it is that you're saying. So what you're saying, have you given thought to that, the way that you think and the words in which you use,
Oh yeah.
and that you're maybe giving off the idea that you are in fact racist,
No, I actually
or that
went
you
so
have
far
Nazi
as
sympathies.
no. I actually went so far as to even repeat a good point that
Thank
one
you,
of
Bree.
my liberal friends made about this situation
Was
in
your liberal
Gaza.
friend white?
And no,
Is it
it's Chinese.
Chinese?
Yeah. And I repeated this factual point that she had made, and I was immediately told that I was being anti-Semitic. But she had said it before, and no one accused her of that. And she was also on the left, so that helps too, you know.
And that's convenient. I don't know what you think about people who practice Islam. I don't know what you think, so I can't have that conversation with you until you share that information. All
Thank you,
right.
Bobo.
And in
Thank you, Dean.
regards to Palestine, all right, if you disagree with are you okay with Judaism? Like, do you believe that people should be
Yeah,
allowed
I
to
was.
practice their faith freely?
Yes, I was actually
Okay.
one of the people that was back when that guy was trying to light them on fire for peacefully protesting for their family members that were
Okay, we
being
get it.
hostage.
We
Were
get
being
it.
held hostage. And what?
Doll, please. Okay, we get it. So you support people practicing the religion in which they want to follow, right?
Yes.
You just said you do. Your point of contention is you are
Watch the chat
against.
for a bit, Erica, please.
Okay, you are against. What you're against is the Israeli government. So what
Yes.
Bibi Netanyahu has done to the Palestinian people, is that right?
Yes. It is.
Okay, then we can find a common ground there.
Yeah,
That's
I
perfectly
don't
fine.
understand why a group of people that were ethnically cleansed are ethnically cleansing people right now.
Exactly. I agree with you. I don't understand it either. Yet what we have to understand is that, well, we don't have to go into that. These are European Jewish people. These people come from Europe. These are not Semitic peoples, because that's a whole nother story.
Are you
Anywho,
talking about Zionists?
I'm not talking about Zionists per se, even though some may be Zionists, but we're not talking about Zionists per se. But doll.
Hmm?
Okay. So I mean, if you agree that people should be able to practice their religion freely, then we found common ground, because I know Hector believes that, and I also believe that.
Yeah, I'm all about that. People should be free. Like, for instance, I think that it was very wrong what Trump said in that post. Like, that was the most atrocious thing.
did it, Joe.
What post?
When he wrote about the swaddling hijab.
Yes, when he was talking about Ilhan Omar. Yes, that was absolutely wrong.
Yeah, that
He
was the
should.
most not anti Islamophobic thing you could say that I've ever heard a president say in my lifetime. And I just am like, okay, so like I that's why I'm like, I call it out wherever I see it. I'm not gonna be like, running cover, for somebody I voted for. That's stupid.
Real quickly, W's to Shada for the $25 Venmo.
Why are you laughing so much,
I'm
Liz?
not laughing at you. I'm
Because
not
he has
laughing at
funny
this
friends.
conversation.
Oh.
W's to Shada for the donation. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you so much. Guys, that puts us up to 1/3 of the goal. Best ways to support the platform is going to be the Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. Those links are available in the bio on the Tickety Talk. Thank you so much for everything that y'all do. And to the people who are not able to donate, your engagement and everything else is just as much appreciated, whether it's a tap, a share, a heart me, and all the other good things. Thank you so much for everything. Carry on.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys, I always plug this because it's really easy for people to go watch. On Netflix, you can go watch the BB Files, and you can basically see him lie under oath for an hour and a half over and over and over again. And then you can see the suitcases that he put millions of dollars of cash in because Qatari banks would not even perform the transaction to these HT groups to pick up their payments in Qatar. He had to get them delivered in suitcases. Yeah, so you can see all of this and how the Israeli people were protesting against these things he was doing before October 7th.
One second,
And
one second, one second. So one thing I do not allow, Marie, whatever your agreements are with me, that doesn't mean I'm gonna allow you to talk mess about my friends. So you're muted.
are you talking to me?
No, you're
Oh.
muted. And if you have a thing you can think we can find common ground on, you may request up, but you will not be talking mess in the chat about my friends. Carry on, ma'am.
Yeah, so you can see how the Israeli people were protesting quite a bit before this day in October. And shortly after, this attack is done on his people without any of his knowledge, supposedly, right?
Who are we talking
And then
about?
Bibi,
I don't know
Oh,
anymore.
okay.
Bibi,
Got you.
Bibi.
Okay.
So all of a sudden, and now these family members, right? For how long were their family members held hostage? Well, they would go to him and they would say they had to walk or tread lightly with him because if they pushed too hard, they knew that he would do nothing for them and their family members. These are his own people.
Okay. So seems like we're gonna mostly agree on these issues, but I do want to go back to
So yeah, it ties back to what we can find common ground on.
absolutely. But
Yeah.
here's the part where you kind of lost me is the almost denial of Republicans or the party or Republican figures who are very much anti-Semitic with the fear mongering of who runs the banks, with the attacks on Jewish people who do stand up for Palestine, who do believe that we should not be aiding Netanyahu and the Israeli government in their genocide over in the Gaza region. And I can sit here and I can say with my full chest that there's anti-Semitism even on the left when it comes to misaligning any Jewish person on this side with Netanyahu. So I feel like the same should be able to be said of the right
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
there's always gonna be hateful people, right? But to say like, to try to figure out which side has more of it, like there's always gonna be equal bad parts everywhere you go is my whole thing. And it's a waste of time trying to parse out, right? Like, that whole thing. Because you have a lot of Republicans that are like Ted Cruz, I would say, that are Christian Zionists that are basically aligning with these other people. And it's not really, okay to be lying, about like what, their support is all about.
Absolutely. So now I want to get back to your name here, Protector of the Faith.
Yes.
Do you believe that your faith is under attack?
I do think that Christians are being persecuted for proclaiming the word of God. You saw it with the Sudanese people recently. I don't believe that you have to donate to a church or follow any priest or, worship any church community. I feel that faith is a personal thing with Jesus Christ. And you can read the Bible to get closer to him anytime you choose. And Jesus, he says you can walk with me or not, and that's how I believe. I would only be answering or talking about this because you asked me. I never, put my beliefs or make anybody believe what I believe.
Okay, we'll get back to that Sudanese example in a second. I want to give a shout out to Taro. Thank you so much for posting Erica's links as well over on the Tube chat. Guys, make sure that while Erica is here, that she's being taken care of as well. There's no reason why she shouldn't at least be at 1,000 coins. Make sure we're taking care of her for the time being that she's co-hosting with us. And if you want to support everything that she does, she went MAGA hunting last night, which if anyone of you know what that's like and the spoons it takes to do so, then you would absolutely be we go into MAGA lives and talk to them. Yeah,
it's a weird name to call it.
It's well, yeah. Make sure that we're hitting up the links in her bio as well and supporting her and everything she has going on. I think it is appropriate, but yeah, I understand how without the context I can sound crazy. What you mean MAGA hunting? Anyway, so you mentioned something with the Sudanese people. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the video. I tried to post it on TikTok when it first happened and it wasn't being allowed, but these people were literally praying on their knees, chanting prayers while they were being executed.
Oh, okay. So I cannot deny religious persecution abroad. That I think that is something that is taking place. I think it's for several different faiths as well. I was more so talking about here in the United States.
Oh, okay. Well, I would say Charlie Kirk was kind of a big one that recently happened. What he would do was reference from time and time again, every time he would go to these college campuses, a lot of the teachings of Christ. And, people might say that's not why that happened to him. But at the end of the day, he was a big proponent of young people getting, involved in their faith.
Okay.
Did that take all my fun away from me? Fun on mute.
Okay. So I made a commitment to be ashwagandha today, and I'm going to keep it going even when we're talking about Kirk. So, do you think that Charlie Kirk was a accurate representation of Christianity or what it should be?
I don't think any human is, quite frankly. The role model is Jesus, and we just try our hardest to be like him as best we can.
You know what? That's a damn good answer. So let me revise my question. Do you think Charlie Kirk spread Christian values across the country?
I think that's what he was really, attempting to provide people with an idea of purpose and meaning through the eyes of Christianity. Yeah, I would say that he tried to instill aspects of that when he would debate with people and whatnot. Yeah.
Can you give me an example of one of those stances?
I don't know. He would talk about a lot of things. He would talk about marriage. He would talk about, he would quote the Bible from time to time. I'm just saying, he wasn't acting as, the next pope of, the Catholic Church or something. It wasn't like that. It was just he represented, a Christian voice in the world.
So you mentioned marriage. Okay, I see you, Shauna. Truth teller, I think there's some background noise coming from your mic, and there's quite literally no reason for you to be unmuted until we're ready to talk to you. So instead of my mod consistently having to mute you, just please stay on mute for a moment. Thank you. So you mentioned marriage, and I would argue his definitions of marriage were very opposing to Christian values based off of what he defined as what a Christian marriage would be, who was supposed to be with, his roles for each individual. There's some things in there which was a little bit problematic.
How?
Well, he had a very patriarchal view of it, in which case, I mean, sure, it can be argued that the Bible is very patriarchal.
Yeah.
But it was oppressive in nature in regards to the roles
Charlie
of the
Kirk's
women
or the Bible?
and the roles of men. Charlie Kirk.
What was oppressive?
in his gender roles, and then his invalidation of any other marriage that wouldn't be between a man and a woman.
I mean, that's pretty in line with the Bible.
I don't think so at all. I think that the submission arguments that are made with alleged Christians and their advocacy for the Bible backing it would be contradicted by the verse in the Bible that specifically talks about husbands submit themselves to your wives, and then wives also submit yourselves to your husbands. Just reverse that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think where people kind of get a little hung up on things is like they'll kind of like think that like there's like Christianity is like these things, these I'm sorry, verses in the Bible are, oh, that sounds horrible and extreme and blah blah blah. It's like we don't majority of Christians aren't taking everything literally, right? I mean,
I didn't go over something in the Bible that could be taken that way. I went over his words or his definitions of what was stated in the Bible, and the fact that the Bible verse that I just cited contradicts his view.
Oh, okay. I got confused. I thought you said that's it, So you're saying the Bible says you must submit to your husband, and he said that it's you submit to your wife, and it's a partner thing.
Let me find the verse specifically, but the verse speaks on husbands and wives both submitting to each other, which can be argued is the opposite of the patriarchal view to some degree, but that didn't change the fact that Charlie Kirk very much stood on it being the wife submitting part. That's
what I was kind of getting at is like in practice, Christians are not very extreme. And so I think that, and that's, and honestly, that's like a good part, I think, about it is that it's very inclusive. It's not very rigid. It's not very restricting. And so here, this man is able to, have an open mind towards, different things that evolve over time. And, it's not like someone's going to unalive him for it from our religion because it's not with the rest. It's like we have so many different fractions of Christianity because we really are so critical of our own faith, and we don't go after. That would be a good thing, right? What?
That would be a good thing, right? The criticalness.
Yes. And that's why I kind of like that we're able to, say certain things that may not go along with just one absolute message from us. We can all agree on some things, but differ on others. And it's not like you could, risk being unalived for saying them,
Sure. So the verses I was talking about specifically, and this is going to be Ephesians 5:21 through 27. Over 22, wives, submit yourselves unto your own husbands as unto the Lord. Husband, the head of the wife, even as Christ is as the head of the church. Fast forward to 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. We can also talk about Colossians. Was it 3?
What about the one where people say at their wedding? That one. That Colossians is the one you want to pick when you get married in a church. There's another one where it's very like hardcore and it's a little scary. You probably don't want to pick that reading.
Right. So
on your wedding day.
His definitions of marriage and the marriage roles could be argued were somewhat the opposite of what the Bible necessarily portrays outside of the patriarchal sense, not to mention. Well, let me ask this question.
It's kind of like this. It's kind of like Sufis and Sunni Muslims.
Yes, hold on. No. We're not talking about Muslims. We're not talking about Muslims. We're talking about Charlie Kirk and upholding Christian values.
No, I know, but I'm just saying there's different types of Muslims.
So, do you think, and obviously not every single person who professes Christianity or talks about Christianity is perfect. No one's here to make that argument. But do you think if said person goes from college to college, goes from interviewer to podcast and spreads hate against several groups of people and spreads misinformation on those groups of people in the name of restoring America to quote unquote Christian values, that can then be argued that that person is not Christian at all, and they're not spreading Christian values?
So I think that God has, this is the thing. Everyone is going to speak their truth, right? Everyone's going to either be praised or criticized at the end of the day for it. And whether the praise is going to be, I agree with that truth, or the criticism is going to be, I reject that, and you're a bigot, right? It's like, that's just how everything kind of goes.
I have an issue with that statement. So I actually hate the saying their truth. I hate it when someone says your truth and my truth, because I don't think that's a real thing. I think there's an objective truth, and then everything else in between is your opinions and your personal leanings. So I understand the context and the saying and how the saying is used, but I fucking hate it so much.
Or I'll say opinion or worldview instead.
So Charlie Kirk's opinions, truth, worldview. We're not going to say truth. Charlie Kirk's worldview.
You just said your own pet peeve.
Yeah, I was again going with what you said, and then I corrected myself. So Charlie Kirk's worldview and his opinions were very much not rooted in truth, and often was contradictory to the principles of the Bible when he read around spreading misinformation and hatred.
But why is that? Why do you think it's misinformation?
Simple, because there's fact, and then there's opinion.
But what was not factual?
There's personal biases, and then there's lies. He spread
like
several.
What? Can you tell me like what you're talking
Several on the black community. He would demean the identities of LGBTQ people and his definitions of marriage, which is fine if the Bible says that, which there's no evidence necessarily to support that. But he would use it to shit on them. He promoted Christian nationalism, which would be the opposite of not only what the Bible would want, but what the Constitution would deem here in this country. But we can talk about.
I mean, to be honest, like, and I'm really not into bringing this up, but there's groups of extreme Muslims that will chant "Death to America."
We're not talking about Muslims. Why did you bring that up?
But there's nothing of that level that Charlie Kirk would ever say.
I'm not here trying to do a religious zealot Olympics. I don't know why you brought up Muslims
but like
here.
to
We're talking
put him
about
at
Kirk.
the same level as like some kind of like jihadist
I don't care if he ran into a church with a bomb on, or if he ran into a gay bar with a bomb on his chest and yelled "God is King." He still spread hate.
I think that's a lot different.
Duh, he still spread hate. That was my argument. You're arguing extremism
but
and
I think it's
levels.
like a little bit dramatized.
I don't think you realize what's happening here. Hey, Truth. I didn't ask you anything yet. So here's what you're missing. I'm not sitting here trying to make comparisons between him and a domestic terrorist of any faith or of any background. But he very much did spread, what's the word, Erica? Is it stochastic terrorism? Which word is it? I'll figure it out. But he very much was a terrorist in that sense. Yes, where he went around and he spread hate and misinformation on people. But then what do you say to all the young people
that got really interested and involved with their faith?
Stochastic.
Stochastic, thank you. Well, what faith is that? Again, I don't think Charlie Kirk is a good representation of the Christian faith as it's supposed to be.
Their own. It's a faith to me. It's a personal thing.
It absolutely is a personal thing, and then he would implore or impose his political views into his faith and say they go hand in hand, damn near.
Well, I don't think that's entirely true. I think that he, was promoting to, build your, spirituality, your faith, your personal relationship with God. That's what I didn't see a lot of, I don't see how like that's hateful.
If I tell you to delve into your personal relationship with God and grow closer to him under the guise that your relationship with God would be dependent or determined based off of your devaluation of black people, of trans people, of anyone who lives opposite to
When did he say
what
something
you're.
bad about black people?
We're not going to go there right now. I don't think we should stick here on the Islamophobia, because Charlie Kirk definitely was Islamophobic.
Yeah,
He definitely was. He went on literally went on the attack against Omar Fattah, who was a mayoral candidate in Minnesota. So yeah.
Well, I definitely think that he was disillusioned by maybe some
No, you don't get to
things.
backtrack now.
Well,
Because when you frame someone as a threat simply because of their religion, all right, simply because of their religion, we're going to take the politics part out of it. All right, that shows. And I'm so sorry, Truth Teller. You didn't talk when anyone else was talking. I'm going to need you to go back on mute and not do that. Thank you. So, as I was saying, when you frame someone as a threat simply because of their religion, all right, then what you get is a person who, in fact, is anti said religion and also hateful, which goes against the teachings of Jesus. It goes against Bible principles, because the Bible does teach you to love thy neighbor, whether that person is Muslim, if they practice Islam, they practice Hindu, Buddhism. I didn't say Buddhism this time, so I said Buddhism. You see, I got
Buddhism.
it.
That's
So
great.
it's an inside joke. Be quiet. All right. So Buddhism, if they're whatever it is that they practice, Jesus said to love thy neighbor. That's one of the main principles of the Bible, and he didn't do that at all.
Well, I wouldn't
And
say
you
at
can't say
all.
that
I think that people make
didn't.
mistakes, sure, and say something wrong. But I think what he was doing towards the end, before he was unalived, was try to, stand up for the truth in things. And he was willing to. He even knew that he was really. Now we know he was willing to say these things, knowing he was risking his life in the process.
If you stand on those mistakes, if you continue to tout around said mistake as if it was fact, despite being checked multiple times, would there then be an argument to say that you were intentionally trying to be bigoted?
Well,
Yeah.
no, I mean, if
No.
he was, what are you saying? He was made aware, and he never, and he said, "I agree," and he didn't.
1350. What does that mean to you?
1350? Is that what you said?
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay. Charlie Kirk was one of the main people who spearheaded the fact that allegedly 13% of the population, black people, commit 50% of the crime. Or schmurders, as he started to clarify later on. And he would use that to justify policies that were impacted or implemented in predominantly black cities, comments like the urban or inner cities. He would use that to make other comments about prowling blacks or black women taking quote unquote white slots.
So that statistic was not right, and he published it.
No, he was checked by several people. He was checked by some of the biggest debaters on this app. He was checked by several people on the lower levels. He was checked by senators, congressmen, congresswomen, so on and so forth. But he still touted it around, or better yet, maybe not so much near the end of his campaign. He got quiet about it, but he never once came out and corrected himself and how detrimental that would be to the black community to paint us as the predominant perpetuators of crime here.
And what was the statistic that he said?
That 13% of the population committed 50% of the crime or schmurders.
Committed 50% of crime or schmurder?
Do schmurders, because the last couple of interviews I saw with him, he would say schmurders.
Okay.
Thank you guys for knocking out the finger art goal. I appreciate you. Go ahead and reset that to the little roses here. Guys, I'm being so nice today.
Did he ever source his information?
43A, the FBI crime table in 2019.
And was that what it said?
No.
No.
It mentioned arrest.
So it says here that the FBI Okay, so according to recent data from the FBI, African American individuals accounted for approximately 51 to 56 of known homicide offenders in the United States in recent years where the offender's race was known.
I'm not sure what you're looking up there, but it wouldn't even be H-side offenders because that statistic, which would be 51.7% from the 2019 crime table of the FBI, was simply arrests, not convictions.
Okay, this is saying homicide.
Right.
Oh,
Again,
okay, so known as homicide offenders, so that means arrests, not convictions.
yes.
You're saying?
Homicide offenders would be more stringent, and that would refer to the people committing said crime, whereas arrest is accurate because it would just be people who are arrested for crimes. We know that anyone's
So then
arrested
then this
for
is
any crime,
correct,
allegedly.
right? Because if offenders meaning they were convicted, you know what I mean?
Right. So then
Arrest
that
would mean-
saying 51 to 56% of offenders would still be incorrect because then it would be assuming that those individuals committed the crime. They wouldn't be the offender of said crime if they was just arrested for it. And in many cases wrongly based off of the
Right, so isn't that better?
no, based off of the why am I blanking right now?
How are we doing this? The whole point of this doll right now, Hector, keep ashwagandhaing. Jesus Christ.
You know they have
The whole
ashwagandha
purpose-
and sea moss now? It's very good for you.
They do mixtures, yes. Go ahead, Erica.
The whole point of the matter is that Charlie Kirk, all right, he lied. He spread a lie about black people.
Yeah, if he lied, he lied. But if he didn't,
So we don't
he
have to
didn't.
go into the weeds of 1350 because Hector already told you that it is a lie. All right. But it is a lie that he told specifically in multiple debates, in his podcast,
Gucci.
in interviews, in videos. He told that lie. Even when he was proven to be wrong, he still told that lie about black people, painting us, framing us, as, especially young black men, as violent people. That's what he did. All right. And he had a wide, massive audience. All right. And in having such an audience, I'm so sorry, you have this tendency, truth teller, that when I'm talking for some reason, that you want to actually not just come off mute, but you think that it's your turn to say something.
I'll fix that.
I
You
want
can come
to
back
stop.
up when we're done.
Just stop doing that. Now, as I was saying, all right, his audience was wide. It was massive. Okay. He went to college campuses speaking to young people, and those same people would come into spaces like this or go into other social media platforms and go into other spaces with other kids off the app, like in real life, as people like to say. All right. And spread this same lie. The same lie. I don't know if you, being who you are, doll, can't see the harm and the damage in that, but it's definitely harmful, and it's violent. It's violent.
So I mean, if that is a blatant, like if that was a
words
blatant,
matter, doll. I think words matter. So you saying if that was a blatant, you don't need to finish because you already said the word if, which means that you're questioning it, that you don't believe what it is that I'm saying.
Well, because I didn't understand because I just looked it up and it said what he said. You know,
do you understand the difference between an arrest and a conviction, doll?
Yes, and that's why I'm saying
All right.
It doesn't say arrest.
It does, in fact, on table 43A from 2019, it does, in fact, say arrest. If you go to the FBI's website, it says arrest. All right.
I was about to say we gave you the literal source that he was quoting, so I'm not sure what overview or whatnot that you're reading, but you can literally go.
At the FBI UCR,
So
2009 crime in the United States.
Well, the table
said
you'd be looking,
2009?
the table you'd be looking for is 2019. But real quick, while you're trying to find that, which
Yeah,
by
I'm
all
sorry,
means,
2019. Did I say not?
you said 2009.
Oh, sorry, 2019.
And I think you mentioned the UCR, which would technically be, that's what we started using after that, right, Erica?
Yes.
Yeah. Guys, we have 284 people in the live here. Welcome in. Really quickly, if you see that follow button and it says follow, that means you're not following me. For the first time in quite some time, I'm choosing to be completely ashwagandha, talking to people who think vastly different from me. And I think I should be followed for that. So hit that follow button if you're loving the stream so far. Also, let's appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for those. Thank you so much. Send your daily heart music if you haven't already. And if you are not a team member, consider becoming one today. Best way to support me is going to be the links in the platform, whether it's by joining the Discord, the conversations, movie nights that we have in there, whether it's by following the other social media platforms, getting yourself some merch off of the shop, or sending a donation through the Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo links. Do all of the good things. And please make sure we're taking care of Erica as well. I haven't heard a single thank you outside of Feisty from Erica since she's been up here, and she's still sitting at not even 1,000 coins, 752. Those are rookie numbers. Let's get those numbers up. Take care of Erica while she's here. Those of you, one second, please. Those of you on the tube side, welcome in. Appreciate you guys as well. Make sure that you hit that like button. Good old like on the stream. And the best way to support the platform is going to be the links that are pinned in that chat, or you may send a super chat over there. But I appreciate every last one of you too. God damn it, we have a call. Give me 1 second, ma'am.
God bless you.
Call from Jessica Bryan Real Estate. To accept,
your
press
whole
1.
thing
to
out
send a
there.
voicemail, press 2.
Hello, are you there?
You got my whole last name out there.
I
just wanted you to ask.
The screen.
Oh shit!
I just wanted you to ask Doll for her to give y'all her hierarchy of slaves. If she was allowed to have them again, she's got a whole list of them laid out of the people that she would choose to do certain things for her. If you'd like to go on with the conversation with this racist ass fucking cunt.
This woman,
That's
I
all
know
I'm
who this
thinking.
is. She's
Do
deranged. She
you know
stalks
her?
me.
Okay.
Yes, her name is. Well, I mean, we all know her name now, but she goes by Messica.
Hierarchy of slaves? What was that about?
Oh no! I was asked because we had this thing about what slaves would you pick in modern day if you had to, and you could pick white people, you could pick anybody. And it was a big joke. Yeah. So I everyone run around and it was like this big joke and this lady thinks it was serious. It's kind of weird.
I have a question. How is that a joke?
Because what the experiment was to break down social filters around topics that are taboo in America.
What does that solve? What does that add?
Well, what ended up happening was everyone was saying what they liked the most about each group of people.
So reducing people to basically attributes that they can provide, that they can provide to you, how they could be of service to you. You think that that is productive?
Well, because every group actually has been enslaved over history. And that's what I was trying to show, is that we all have very
How long has racism been around? When was racism invented?
It's been from the beginning.
It's been from the beginning. Okay. All right. If it's been from the beginning, please provide us some empirical data that actually shows that the Slavs were enslaved because of their race. I need you to provide
they
that.
Were actually,
because I know that Slavs were enslaved. I know that Slavs were enslaved.
Yes.
All right. They
were
enslaved by what we now know as other white people.
It was
I want you to show us some empirical data, all right, that shows, and I'm not talking about the Bible. All right, I want you to show us something.
No.
I want you to show us something. You be quiet. I'm talking. Me? Yes, you be quiet. I want you to show us something that shows that Jewish people were enslaved. All right, they were enslaved because of their race. which is white? Like, show us, please.
Oh no, they were the biggest slave traders, actually. So
no, that's what I need for you to do.
Well, I could do
show
it with
me
other
another
people,
group
but
of
not
people,
Jews.
doll.
They're the ones that actually owned the most.
Okay.
Doll, I don't want to mute you. Show us another group of people, all right, in history that were enslaved prior to the transatlantic slave trade, all right, that were enslaved because of their race.
Barbary slave trade.
The Barbary slave trade?
Yeah, they enslaved Christians for 300 more years.
Christian isn't a race.
Oh my God.
Christian's not a race.
Out that you invalidated your own point when you said all people were enslaved. Because when Erica brought up Jewish people specifically, you said, well, they were the enslavers.
Yeah, that was the only exception. Yeah.
So then that would negate your point off the bat, but there's more.
Well, no, I meant everybody else. Like, they don't really actually consider
everybody else now.
Well, they don't consider them. They're a part of the rest of us anyway, so I don't consider them.
Everyone keeps mentioning like Jewish people. Friendly reminder that Jewish isn't a race. Jewish isn't a race.
It's an ethno religion.
So there's that. Even if they were enslaved, it wouldn't be based off of their race.
Well, they do differentiate themselves by that.
It's an ethno religion.
Ethnicity. So
ethnicity
you can split hairs on that whole thing, but
we're not splitting hairs. We're not splitting hairs, doll. All right, ethnicity and race and nationality are different. Okay, they're simply different. Okay,
follow the backup.
Follow Hector's backup, guys. Ethnicity, all right, is your cultural identity. That is your ethnicity. Okay, your race is something that has been made up that we've all decided to agree with. I call it a contract, but it's literally called a social construct. Okay, it was created. It was literally created by the Portuguese to justify to the Catholic Church the enslavement of African people, Black bodies, to be more exact. The transatlantic slave trade was completely racialized, okay? Completely racialized, where the Barbary slave trade was more so about the power dynamics so people could actually take over villages, and also about subjugating people based on their religion. Whereas, again, I'm going to say to you for the very last time that the transatlantic slave trade, what we had here, all right, in this land, in the Americas, was solely based on race. No other group of people was fucking enslaved for perpetuity. All right, that means your children were born into slavery, their children were born into slavery, and their children were born into slavery, and their children were born into slavery. Okay? No other race was born such as that. No other race of people had to experience that. And if you think I'm wrong, get in the box and come tell me how I'm wrong so I can tell you how I'm right.
Couple thank yous. First off, make sure we're taking care of Erica. But a couple of thank yous that we have here. W's in the chat for... I'm just going to say Roger7386 for the $1.99 super chat on the tube side. Hate is Christian love. Caller's a fake-ass believer. Well, yeah. W's to you. W's in the chat for Jonah, or Jana. I always forget how to pronounce your name. I'm going to get it right, I swear. Jana, thank you. For the $10 super chat on the tube side, for being open-minded like I always thought you were. It's rough. Thank you so much for your 10. And thank you, Jana, for another 5. Erica, you're not on the tube for me to support. Well, you should have sent the 5 to her. Hold on. Mods, do me a favor. Make sure that we're putting Erica's links in the chat periodically as well while she's here so that people know when she's talking to donate to her. But I'll tell you what. I'll send this 5 over to Erica for you, Jana. Thank you so much for your donations.
Yeah, Jana only goes only does super chat. She doesn't have any apps.
Okay.
Yeah, like
Thank you,
I
Jonah.
honestly, I have
We're
to
not ready
say,
for yet. We're
guys,
not ready for yet.
I've
Hold on.
oh,
Not ready for yet. Give me 1 second.
sorry.
Guys, this puts us up to 67 of the goal. 67 of the goal. Once again, best way to support the platform is going to be the links in the bio or the super chats over on the Tube side. And make sure we're taking care of Erica as well. Lamont is going to momentarily post their link tree to where you can donate to those links as well. So everything Erica just said, and I want to add on to this. What do you think Charlie Kirk has said about slavery?
I honestly don't think he's probably ever talked about slavery. I think he's talked about the NFL and and the NBA, because I remember there was some kind of racial debate about DEI.
So he absolutely has. Big W to y'all to get Erica over 2K coins. So he absolutely has. And specifically when he does talk about slavery, it's in regards to the black community, which is funny because according to you and several other people, every race was enslaved. But specifically what he said about us, and I'm going to go ahead and read his direct quote here. It was bad and it was evil, but they committed less crimes.
It was, wait, he said it was bad, it was evil,
but they committed less crimes.
Ooh, that's not good. When did he say that?
He said this, let me get the time frame for you. This was the Surrounded episode on Jubilee, and I believe this was 20... I gotta do a little bit more of a deep diving to find the year, but I do have the clip.
You know what? I think I always find it. I know I'm a little bit perturbed. I always find it kind of funny that they want to know when did he say that? When exactly did he say that?
Well, I just am like, wouldn't they play that like on repeat, like to put him in, like, just end his career?
What? I'm sorry, to end Charlie Kirk's career.
Yeah, like wouldn't they have played that like a billion times somewhere?
Oh, it was.
Doll
all
47.
of us to see?
Doll 47. We literally have a convicted felon in the office. We have a man who said that he grabs women by the PUSSY. We have a man.
Like
I'm so sorry, dog.
Some women like that.
Okay.
You can't be serious.
Chat.
No one likes to be touched without their consent. Okay. No one likes to be touched without their consent, doll. No one likes to be touched without their consent.
What in the world would make you think we're talking about people who would obviously consensually want their cat petted?
I thought you were talking about that. I'm sorry. I don't know. I heard that and I was like, some women like it.
You know what? Y'all know I hate this, but it's pool time. It's pool time. What do we think, Erica?
For her?
Yeah.
Well, I was having a great discussion, I thought.
I mean, yeah.
We did it.
Sure. See, I don't think that's right to the
50.
chat.
50.
Yeah, I think that's better.
I'm going to follow you regardless because I think that you guys are very calm and rational.
The pool is 50, chat. The pool is 50, and the links are available in the bio. I need doll. So many different ways we can go here. Back to Charlie Kirk. He spread lies about the black community. We gave an example. He made disgusting comments such as us committing less crimes under slavery, which I don't know what statistic he would have for that, and he has yet to substantiate it. We can go into several other things that he made about black women not having the IQ or the processing power to get in the positions that they have without DEIA, which is not affirmative action, so that would be a false claim off the bat. We can keep going. And what I find crazy about every time I have these conversations with people who support Charlie Kirk and tout him as being some like figure of Christianity is that you guys don't seem to know about all these things that were very much blasted on news networks.
Well, I think what I remember him saying something along the lines of, in the 1940s, that the black community was prospering more than
Based off of
now
what?
in current day. Well, I remember him making some assertion that the Great Society, really was not beneficial uh,
The what?
in the long
The
run.
what society?
The Great Society, Lyndon B. Johnson. That's what I remember. So that's why I asked
I'm
you.
unaware.
The
What is
Civil
that?
Rights Act of 1964. Basically, what she's saying is that us getting our civil rights, so quote unquote equality.
No, I'm
wasn't
not saying that. I
beneficial-
thought that's what he was saying.
wasn't beneficial to us as a collective.
Right. He's
So
made it
I have
clear
a
that he felt the
question.
Civil Rights Act was a mistake. Thank you, Dean, for the $5 Venmo. Bye-bye, doll. Bye-bye, doll.
45 to go.
45 to go. 45 to go. Go ahead, Erica.
$45?
Go
Is that
ahead,
what we're
Erica.
Oh my God. So during the 1940s when how can I put this? During the 1940s when about 50% of Black people live below the poverty line. And this is information because I like to come with facts, because our Census Bureau didn't start tracking poverty until 1959. That's when the Census Bureau started tracking it. So they had to go off of certain data like job statistics, housing data, and employment data during those times.
Thank you,
All right.
Zazu.
So with all that information calculated and taken into account, they estimate that prior to World War II, between 40 to 60% of Black people live below the poverty line. And after World War II, all right, between 50 to 60%. So I'm just going to say 50%, half of our population, half of Black people in the United States of America living below the poverty line. But we were so prosperous. We were doing so well. We were doing so well under Jim Crow. Weren't we, doll?
No, I didn't say that. I think that's what, because I just found a clip. Do you want me to play it?
Do you agree with him?
No.
Wow.
I
Then
think
what the
though. I
fuck
think
are we
that
doing
I
here?
do think though that the Great Society did not help in expanding welfare programs. Though
I'm sorry. What is this Great Society term? It's throwing me
it's
off.
what Lyndon B. Johnson expanded social programs with.
I just feel
And
like
for-
that's a
It was
derogatory
his-
term.
That's literally what
It's
he
not.
called it. He called it that. It was like, when they have like a name for their stuff, like that
It's
was
like-
his.
It's like FDR and the New Deal. The Great
Yeah, it's
Society
like-
was basically his set of basically welfare reform.
You want me to play the video that I found where I think this is what you're talking about him saying, or no?
Sure.
People don't hear about it, Hector. People don't refer to it as that because it was his plan. Again, just like the New Deal was FDR's plan, the Great Society was LBJ's plan to basically reduce poverty, implement programs to help people, so on and so forth. But because it wasn't successful like the New Deal was, people don't talk about it much.
Got you. Makes sense.
Do you want me to play this short clip?
Sure, 1 second. Thank you, Gucci, for the $5 donation on Venmo. Kick the trash off the live, please. I am just relaying a message. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger, guys. That's 40 left. W's in the chat for Gucci. W's in the chat.
Yeah,
for
I'll
Gucci.
stay up here and make you $40 today. I don't mind. It's
You know what? I appreciate that because you are participating in getting me reparations. Thank you. W's in the chat for Shada for the $10 Venmo donation by Dan.
What'd she say? I'm not reading what I've been sending to
I
after this.
am
Shauna crazy,
just
yo.
the messenger. Chat, I am just the messenger. Doll, I am just the messenger. By Dandruff Clump. I'm adding that to the list, Shauna. I am just the messenger. That's 30 left. That's 30 left. I am just the messenger.
Come on, people.
W's in
You
the
can work
chat.
faster than that.
W's in the chat to Vincent for the $5 cash app. Sub kick with a
I'll
bribe.
just play the clip.
Well, we actually don't do sub kicks anymore, Vincent. We did away with that, or at least after our first period. So there's that. But W's in the chat for Vincent. Yes, that's 25 left. That's 25 left. W's to all the donators. W's to all the donators. Dandruff Club is fucking
reasons why Asian Americans do so well in this country. To the most foundational family unit.
You know what, doll? I feel like I told you I just need to finish these super chats, and then I would allow you to play the clip. So please just don't start it. You may play the clip now. I'll invite you to unmute. Now you may play the clip that you found.
Sorry. Okay. Ready? Okay.
To the most foundational family unit. And when that breaks down so severe...
Hold on. I have to change
group, when it acts that way, stays in poverty over a longer period of time. Asians are incredibly loyally married. It's one of the reasons why Asian Americans do so well in this country. Hispanics do very well. White Americans increasingly are not doing as well.
They also came here by choice, too.
Okay,
my ancestors did not come here by choice, but
okay, so
we don't have to go
again,
too far into that.
We don't have to go into that. I want to get the next question. Again, you should be kissing the ground because you're right. You didn't come here by choice. But
why are you telling me to?
Oh, I'm telling you right now. You should be kissing the ground with gratitude because you're right. You are not in Africa, and you should be thankful you're not in Africa. That you're in the United States of America. That's my end of the day. Thank you very much.
Was that the clip?
No, but I'm glad you played that because it doesn't help your argument here.
It does not help your argument at all.
At all. People who were...
Was that your goal? The fuck?
No, it wasn't. I don't know what that was. Charlie Kirk.
Could you hear it, or was it like all like blurry?
I heard it. People who were stolen from their homeland, ancestry, descendants of people who were stolen from their homeland, robbed of their culture, their heritage, and everything else, should be thankful that they're here in the United States. Not only is that a astronomically crazy thing to say, but it will also be demeaning Africa and acting like it's some type of wasteland when it's not. Africa is very much a thriving nation with its problems, just like every other country.
I don't want to live in Africa. Do you?
I actually would not mind living in Africa. I would love to go to Africa. I'm planning a trip to go to East Africa. It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, but you wouldn't live there.
I would. That is something that I've been considering, to move to Africa.
Like
someone please buy me a plane ticket to Ghana. I'll take care of the rest. Just someone get me to Ghana, please.
You remember that? You remember that video, Erica? Or maybe you didn't see it. There was a video that a guy posted. It was a black guy on TikTok who had a bunch of racists like message him because he was criticizing the president deportations and stuff. And so you didn't see it. And all the they're sending him racist comments. So he makes a video and he goes, "Hey, I just want to let y'all know all the people going back to Africa." He said, "I've decided to take you up on your offer. If you hit up my GoFundMe, you may donate to the Send My Black Ass Back to Africa Fund."
Please.
Did you see the people that did move to Africa and they're crying because they don't have AC and like DoorDash and...
Girl,
I could care less about what some fucking spoiled ass American white people are crying about not having DoorDash.
No,
and
they were
AC
black
First
that
off,
moved to Africa.
Whoever they are, they chose the wrong parts of Africa if they wanted those conveniences.
Sucks. There's no snacks.
I could care less about
Hector,
those people's opinions. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, doll. How many countries are there in Africa?
I don't know exactly, but
then shut the fuck up.
Well, I mean, it's because I have no interest in going there, right?
Shut the fuck up. You have no interest in anything but being passively hateful. That's what that's the only thing you have here.
No, I would live in other places.
But never.
I mean, we're all not going to gaslight each other
simply because
and say that we'd all like to
something
live in the Congo.
In that fucking monotone, a disgusting voice of yours, all right, that you're not saying anything wrong. You are harmful. You are violent.
No,
you
are
violent.
Yes, I have not said anything other than I wouldn't like to live in Africa.
You hide your hate behind ignorance is what you
honest,
do.
Ma'am.
And I'm sorry, what did you just say?
I don't think you would either, for being honest, ma'am.
I definitely would.
No,
I definitely would.
Wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
Somalia.
I definitely would live in Ghana. All right? Africa, for you idiots, you know what? Thank you. Africa is a continent, okay, larger than the United States of America. I believe is it larger than North America? It's fucking huge. It has 54 whole ass independent nations. Okay? I need you all to understand that. All right? Just because you've seen some fucking commercials, all right, does not mean that you know what it's like to be in any of those countries. None of them whatsoever. It is thriving there. Thriving. And why do you think they start war? I'm so sorry, Hector. Why do you think they start wars there? Because they want to take their resources. Why the fuck do you think that the Europeans colonized there and destroyed those places that they're having to rebuild?
Come on,
People
get some
fucking
help.
shut the
You
fuck
would
up.
not live
Yes,
in
they
Africa.
did. Yes,
Get
I
some
would.
help.
People
You're not
do
going to live in
there.
Somalia. Come on.
You don't know where I would live, so shut up.
Come on,
all right,
get
and
some
stop
help.
interrupting.
All right. Tube, I'm gonna have to mute you guys momentarily. Those of you on the Tube side, I'm gonna have to mute you guys momentarily, but we'll be right back. Just give me one moment. One moment. Go ahead and say your piece, Doll, because I feel like we've been interrupting you a lot, and I want to do better. So go ahead and say your piece. What you were saying about yeah. What's up, Bob? What are you talking about? What is she talking about, Erica? Music? I'm not hearing anything. Oh, the chat's hearing it? Oh, that's crazy. The chat's hearing it. W's in the chat for W's in the chat for Erica. I know I could drop her, but this just feels better. Boot Dandruff Clump. Shout out to my girl Shauna. W's in the chat for Erica. Erica, you know damn well you didn't have to do that. W's in the chat for Erica. Appreciate your support. We met the we met the 50, which is crazy because Erica's the only reason I did a drop pool. I hate them. But also, thank you, Dean, for the $40 Venmo. I can't let this racism continue. I appreciate you, Dean. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and use this to send Erica back her 25. Yes, I am. I'm going to go ahead and use this to send Erica back her 25, and don't worry about the 5 shortage on the drop pool. That was satisfying to do. Let me go ahead and unmute. What's going on, Tube? What's going on? I apologize. I have a new thing that I do for dropping, and it involves playing a particular tune that would get me flagged on the Tube side. So I'm sorry y'all missed it. But that's how the rules have got to be currently.
I got some thank yous.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you to Feisty for the 25. Feisty said, yell at her, please. I hope I did, Feisty. I hope I did. Shout out to Shauna for the shut up. Shauna said, preach my nigga. Thank you, Shauna, for the 20. Gucci said 5. Love you, Gucci. And Shauna said another 10 and said, preach to these bleach demons. I know that's fucking right. Also, shout out to Taro for the 5. Thank you so much, Taro. Love you more. Thank you so much, Shauna, Feisty, and Gucci, and Taro. Y'all are fucking awesome. Love you all. That was absolutely unhinged, yo. I am so friggin' tired. I am so freaking tired of certain people acting like ignorant towards racism and hiding that shit behind ignorance. Like, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that. Like, do we live in the same friggin' society? Like, do we live in the same place, Hector? What the hell is happening here?
I don't know. I don't know. First off, W's in the chat for the individual who called. I'm gonna go ahead and change the call ID situation because it was actually crazy that they read all your shit out. But also there's something on your end. If you don't want your full information piling up, you can block that. For calling about what was the comment? that she made, or where they were rating which slaves would they want to
Yeah, a
have, or some shit
hierarchy
like
of
that.
slaves.
Like that's
Yeah, it was
fucking
crazy.
that's actually insane. That is actually
Very
insane.
much so. Also, Rich Poor was in the request, and he would have been a good palate cleanser. Darn it, Rich, come back.
All right, Trump supporters request up in the box. You're the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. We are attempting to find common ground, which I guess we did on maybe one or two things with the last guest, and then they quickly went backwards on that. Oh,
holy shit! What is that?
What the fuck is that?
What was that?
W's.
It was so pretty.
W's Kamala's future wife, which I would argue I'd
you.
fight you for that position. For the super whale, whatever the fuck that was super dope. W's to Kamala's future wife. W's to you. And W's in the chat to Kimberly for the $10 cash app. K Rich on TikTok. Let Winebox Betty go. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, K Rich, for your donation. I appreciate you. W's in the chat to everyone who supported the stream so far. And those of you who cannot donate financially, that's perfectly fine. I want to let you know you're just as important. All your taps, all your comments, all your engagements, all your heart me's, and all of that. The algorithm is looking for that too and pushes out to the FYP. So you are just as important. I appreciate every last one of you as well. I understand times are tough. God bless you. It's Christmas season. We're all penny pinching, so I get it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Whew, that was something. That was something.
Did you watch it from last night though? Did you do that yet? You haven't had time, have you?
Mm-mm.
Bro, the last 2 hours. Last 2 hours. Absolutely unhinged.
Were you on the panel for the last 2 hours?
No, it was a lot happening in the last 2 hours of that live. Like, I have no idea.
You were just watching it? And she
No, man. No. Okay. So basically, Liv and I went over there, and then Jonah came up, and Jonah is such a sweetheart, and he was trying to actually talk to them, but of course they kept cutting him off and pivoting, blah blah blah, doing the whole thing. So they ended up dropping Jonah, and so Liv and I just stayed quiet, and they started just yapping, just being like yap, right? And like one of them, I think it was, I don't fucking know. One of them says something about black people, right? And the whole point of contention is that we on the left or whatever are always bringing up race, right? And so one of them says something about black people. So I came off mute and was basically like, what was that about black people? What happened? See, there you go, making it about race again. All that, you know. Exactly. And so I was basically like, okay, whatever. And so I went back on mute, and she told me to shut the F up. Right? She told me to shut the F up. Right? That was it. It was time to crash out. And I'm not going to tell you the rest, so you got to watch it.
Those of you who do not know, Erica and I started doing some MAGA hunting, and she went ahead and did some last night. If you think it's unfortunate that you missed it, fun fact, if you're subscribed to both of us over on the Tube side, you can go rewatch every single one of our lives and get all the good stuff that we're talking about. This live currently is being dual streamed over to the Tube side as well. So those of you who are not subscribed to me over on Tube, make sure you go do so. Hector Talks with 2 R's, Hector Talks with 2 R's, exact same username. And make sure you're subscribed to Erica, who is Everything with Erica over there as well. Her links that will take you directly to it are available in that bio. Thank you guys so much for getting over 2K. Oh, never mind. 5,000 coins. Since we're just out here gifting the fuck out of Erica, can we do 7K? Can we do 7K coins for Erica? I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something that's going to be a little petty. It's going to be a little messy, okay? A little petty, a little messy. So Erica goes up on a lot of different panels. And a lot of times she goes up there, she cooks, and she gets a good bit of coins. But there's one person specifically who she gets a lot of coins from, I'm not going to name, that I'm trying to compete with today, okay? I'm trying to compete with that person today, and I don't want you all to embarrass me, okay? So let's get Erica as much coins as we possibly can. Can we do that? It will just help me settle a petty little beef that I have. That's all, okay? let's just get her above them coins. Let's do that. NT cases. Trump supporters request up in the box. You're the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. I know I have done everything in my power to be more than cordial and more than civil with every guest that we've had up so far. So let's see what kind of conversations we can have. Also, we are slacking, guys. We are slacking because we should be at 200,000 likes already. So if you guys could do me, thank you so much, Bree. Thank you so much, Bree, Riza, Olivia. I've missed a lot of people. I can't name you all. Thank you guys so much for your donations.
That was pretty.
That was very pretty. Let's get up. Let's get up with the likes. Let's get the likes up. If all of you, Discord link expired, I'll fix it. If all of you can double tap that screen till the hard bar gets full, 257 of you, just for a solid 15 to 30 to 60 seconds, we can easily get up to 200K likes, and we can do so within the next 20 to 25 minutes. Thank you for the follow. Make sure you're hitting that follow button, and let's get back to it. If you're over on the Tube side, you cannot request up, but you may call in the number on the screen. Even if you're on TikTok, you can call in the number 737-295-5321. Make it snow on Erica, y'all. Exactly. This the season to make it snow.
Also, for those who would use the call-in line, if you're listening over on the Tube, the cool thing is that you won't have to talk to me. I can hear you, but you won't be able to hear like me responding to you. So I just get to stay on mute.
Not you putting that out as a bonus.
So
Erica said, if y'all think I'm too abrasive, if y'all don't like the sound of black women's voices, you can just talk to him if you call in. That's fucked up.
Yeah, you can just talk to Hector.
That's fucked up.
It's crazy work.
Not wrong. That's fucked up.
I don't know. I have to do the OM video, and I don't feel like doing it.
Oh, hell.
Like, how y'all just post clips? I just want to post a clip, but I feel like I have to provide like some information about DEIA. And you know me, I can't just do it off the dome because I don't want to ramble. It's a whole lot. So what we need here, what I need from the 250 people over here on the TikToks is I need you all to drop your favorite hashtags in the chat. All right, we already got some going. I see some Home Depot. I saw Home Depot. All right, I've been saying MAGA. I'm not going to say the B word. All right, so I need you all to drop your favorite hashtags in the chat. All right, get them over here. Okay, get them over here. Do all of the good things to get Hector back on the FYP so that he can continue to have these conversations. You know, TikTok is all about viewer engagement. All right, so let's show TikTok that you all want to be here, guys. Let's do all of the good things. All right, let's go. Raisins and potato salad. Risa wins so far.
Are y'all hearing these dogs barking?
Nah, not really.
Okay, good.
I thought your panda was moving earlier. Oh, that is so neat.
W's for Kamala's future wife for the Astro Bear. That's what I'm talking about. Big W's to you. Big W's to you.
Super cool.
You're not helping our beef right now. You're not helping. So those
of you.
Also,
Fax wins because he said Erica's fanboy. So Fax is winning the hashtag war. There's that.
W's in the. What's up, Fax? And speaking of Fax, W's in the chat for Facts Still Matter. Thank you so much, Dean. Appreciate you for the treasure. I don't know what these gifts are. These are new. W's in the chat for Facts Still Matter for the sorry, real quick. $10 Venmo. Love you, brother. Love you too, Facts. Guys, if you're not following Facts Still Matter, make sure you do so. Fantastic creator. He doesn't do this messy shit like we do. He just talks the news and occasionally wiggles one in or reels one in. But fantastic creator. Make sure you're following him. Thank you so much for your donation, Facts. W's in the chat to you. Go ahead, Erica.
Also, shout out to Fax. Steve is so funny. He sent $10 and said, "I love you more than Hector, though." I know that's right.
You know what, Fax? That's some bullshit because we've known each other longer. But I see. You know what? I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's a mashup gift. So when you go to your gifts, right, it's like this option to mash up, and you like pay some coins or whatever to start the mashup, and then you get to choose 2 different gifts to put together. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
This is news to me. Okay, dope.
Yeah, I like it.
What's crazy is that we had a bunch of people in the request earlier, but we were talking to her.
I wanted to bring Rich up, but I didn't want to interrupt that because sometimes Rich, he doesn't want to stay quiet.
Well, I was going to say, typically what I try to do is if I see...
look at the screen. Look at the screen.
Oh, hold on. I see it. Oh, shit. So my phone is on a delay, so if I miss anything, I look at it through here. That was super cool. W's in the chat for...
Was that Rainy? Who did that?
For the sky drift. Oh, shit. I actually kind of hate all the gifts y'all are sending. It's good for the... Thank you. It's good for the algorithm over here on the TikTok. But please understand, everything y'all send... specifically to Erica, most of that is going to me, which is why I'm sending her the night shift. But specifically on TikTok in general, we're getting half of that, if not less, at this point. So thank you so much because the algorithm needs it. But I fucking hate how much TikTok takes. W's in the chat for Rainy. W's in the chat for Rainy.
That was super cool.
Restart. What's going on, MAGA Slayer? I may need to in a second. I hate doing restarts, y'all, especially before we hit a certain amount of likes. I hate doing restarts. So tap that screen.
Okay, guys, get Hector up to 200,000 likes, please, guys. He likes the even whole numbers is what he likes. And I'm gonna go fix my link for the tube really quick.
Okay. Oh, and let me go ahead and fix that for the Discord side as well. I'll do that for a moment.
And if you voted for Donald Trump, go ahead and request up. Let's have a conversation. All right. Keep your racism at bay, though. Like, seriously. I think that's triggering me today. So keep your racism at bay. Appreciate you.
First, it was the nonsense about Muslims. We're sitting here talking about Christians because that's what she touted around. And her immediate thing was to go to, well, the Muslims this and the Muslims that. What is the Islamophobia in this country is actually insane. Like, actually insane. The way you guys just have these weird opinions, especially the ones who want to go back to, oh, well, back in this time, the Quran said this, and back in this time, the Quran said that. Well, still today, the Bible says several things, several problematic things. So if we're going to do this nitpick on which religion we think is the most immoral, don't. Christianity, as it still sits today, you know what? Like I said, I respect everyone's... No, I don't. I respect your right to live out your faith, but I hate it when people act as if their faith is the one or the best or the most moral. Don't do that. Please don't.
Shauna. Drop some heart. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm over here. Drop some W's in the chat for Shauna. That was cool. It was gingerbread jumping into a cocoa mug.
Oh, shit. W's in the chat to Shauna. W's in the chat to Shauna. You guys are
friggin'
all
awesome.
helping fuel my petty little beef right now. You already know who it is.
So,
Erica.
I know who it is. I watch him like every morning. Get so much information. Like, if you're for real though, if you're not following Facts Still Matters, like that should be like your morning news show. All right. And I just adore Facts because he really does try to have like these genuine conversations with these unhinged people. And they be so damn unhinged. And you can just see it in his eyes like, what am I supposed to do with this? What do I do with it? But yeah, I was about to say, fuck me, man. I forgot during what I was about to say, Hector.
Something about your tube? Were you resetting the link?
I'm going to reset the link over on the tube, but it's also something else I was about to say. I can't remember it. Oh, fudge tickles. Oh, keep dropping your hat. You should do a restart, by the way. Keep dropping your hashtags and just let's get Hector up to 200,000 likes. Chat. Let's see here. Put a 1 in the chat if, no, not a 1. Put a 6 in the chat. A 6 in the chat if you think Hector should do a restart. All right. And put a 0 if you think he should just stay here. And I can tell dad jokes in Donald Trump's voice.
Oh, God. There we go, guys. The Discord link is fixed. The Discord link is fixed. So anyone who would like to join that community, you may check the link in the bio on the Tickety Talk. And it should take you straight there. If you're having any issues, once you open up the invite, open it up in your own browser. Someone keeps saying it's glitchy. I'm looking for my backup and it looks fine.
It was glitchy. I think it's been fixed.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not seeing enough zeros.
After a certain time, because we are dual streaming and the computer starts to get hot, it will start to do this for a moment, which is why I need to get a new fucking computer. But yes, that should be fixed, and I'm going to go ahead and post it and pin it over here on the tube chat. Appreciate every last one of you for letting me know. Let me reset this on here. You want dad jokes? Oh my God. Y'all and your dad I sent you one. Did you see the one I sent you, Erica?
You
I think I
did
said in
send
John.
one.
They just John too. That was funny. That was fucking funny. Let me get this posted here. Oh yeah, those of you on the tube side, I do have Erica's link tree posted up there. So I want to hear some thank yous from y'all over on the tube side. Make sure you're taking care of Erica. She's being taken care of the TikTok coins. Make sure you take care of those links as well. And also always be sure that you are following your favorite creators on every social media platform that they have, especially the harder ones like Tube, IG. IG is a rough algorithm, y'all. So on and so forth.
I just really want to start having like over 1,000 views on the tube streams, because I have a few with over 1,000 views, but I just really want to get there. I have to post more on YouTube. I know that much, but the shorts is how you is the best way to post over there instead of the long form videos. But all my videos be like over 3 minutes. I gotta figure out how to.
I'm gonna let you have fun with this.
Rich? Rich, come back. Hey, Rich.
Hey, how's everybody doing? I find it funny. Not to get off on the wrong foot, but we could talk about Trump racism all day, but Kamala Harris, white guys for him. Wow, dude, I was in the middle of making a good point.
W's in the chat
we don't need to be
Dean
disrespectful.
for the Pirate's Treasure and the Rose soundtrack. Big W's to you. Big W's to you. W's to you, Dean.
So, white guys for Harris, really? Is that not tokenizing white people? White guys for Harris, really? You know that's racist. Come on now. Come on, man.
Did you just give an
White
example
guys.
of white guys choosing to tokenize themselves for the upliftment of democracy and black women as racist?
That's how you view it? So is that how you view that?
It's not how
That's what
I
I
view it. That's how it is.
That's literally
White
what you
guys.
just did, Rich.
Well, I just find it hypocritical. The white guys for Harris movement that was tokenizing white people in order to what is the I don't know. It just didn't sit right. Some things just don't sit right. Some things just don't sit right with you. And then also you spoke about Charlie Kirk. I find it funny because Candace Owens literally she vouched for him and said he's not racist, and she's solving his assassination. So I just find it funny because you have a strong black woman who's vouching for him. So I find it funny. There's just some hypocrisy that I had to get off my chest. And also, imagine hating on Trump when he literally is signing he agreed to give the $2,000 check. Imagine hating on Trump even after he signed to release the
Rich.
Epstein files. Just imagine still hating on Trump even after all these. I can see in the beginning that makes sense, but imagine hating on him right now. Just imagine that. Imagine that.
Hey, Rich.
I'm just trying to imagine.
But Rich, I have a question for you. All right. Do you enjoy like the federal holidays that we have?
Beautiful, absolutely.
You do?
You get paid. Your work will pay you more. You might get the day off.
Yeah, like done sometimes.
Imagine not.
Rich, I have a question.
Imagine not enjoying the holidays.
Rich,
imagine.
yeah, I know. Imagine not enjoying them. So, Rich, I have a question for you. Do you ever, like during the federal holidays, do you ever like go to the park with your kids or your partner or friends and just go to like a national park and hang out and just take in the sights, the beauty of the United States? Do you ever just do that? Have you done that before?
Of course. Imagine not walking your dog. Imagine not going to a family picnic.
Yeah.
Imagine not doing that. Of course, I've done that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So now imagine not being able to access that park for free on, let's say, Juneteenth or Martin Luther King Jr. Day, because Donald Trump just signed an order to say that those days are no longer considered national park days.
Wow.
Yeah, let's do that. But
that was a gotcha.
he made his own birthday. He made his own birthday, which happens to coincide with Flag Day, into one of the days that you can access a national park for free. You don't see, Rich, how that's pretty much a direct attack on Black people?
Wow, that was a gotcha moment.
Yeah, it was. I got you.
what I need to do is walk back, take a step back
God
because
bless you.
we could talk about the negative things he's done that does seem a bit slightly racist, or the things that he's done that benefits the black community. You know, he's pardoned many celebrities. Nikki, there's Oprah Winfrey, Snoop Dogg. There are a lot of black, strong, prominent blacks who have vouched for him. You know, there are a lot of people who are on his side. I think,
Rich
I
people,
think,
rich people. Okay, how is Donald Trump helping the everyday average American? I don't care about how is he helping black people directly or white people. It doesn't matter. How is he helping the everyday average American, the one that gets up, goes to work, takes care of their kids? The lower middle class, the working class. How is he helping?
right. So we can point to the imagine the $2,000 checks that he's already promised. You know, we can't
Oh
just
my
sit here
God.
and imagine that that didn't happen. You know what I mean? The $2,000 checks. I know that that's something that he promised a few weeks ago, but you know, it's worth mentioning that that is on the way. We got the $2,000 checks. We got to keep that in mind. We can't just write that out. You know what I mean? We can't just have selective forgetfulness. He did guarantee the $2,000 checks. I think
Rich,
it's worth mentioning.
rich, rich, rich,
Yep. Yep.
rich,
Hey, you know, you like that? You don't kill the messenger now. Don't kill.
rich. You're not getting those checks. What happened to the Doge checks, Rich?
Wow. Wow.
Hmm? You can't
It,
just Rich, you can't just keep injecting a bunch of money into the economy and think that that's going to solve things. We saw that in 2020. We also saw it in 2021. And what we started to see was the negative impacts of two presidents doing that, thinking that it would fix things. We started to see the negative impacts of that. We started to see high inflation with it reaching its peak in the summer of 2023, Rich.
I have a
Was it
question.
23?
Okay.
It was 23 or was it 22? I can't remember which one it was.
Well, first off, you said negative impacts. I just need to know, are the negative impacts in the room with us? Because I don't see them.
Rich,
Are
don't
are
piss
the
me off.
are the negative? I may have just not noticed, but I think that people will be
Thank
the
you,
negative.
Dean. We started to see the impact, the impacts in 2022. It was summer of 2022, June, where we had our record high inflation. Good grief.
Oh wow, okay. I didn't know you were going that far back. Fair enough.
No,
I
it's not
understand
about
that.
going that far back. It's about policy. All right. When you inject a bunch of money into the economy via stimulus checks, because all this is a stimulus check. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to have people being able to borrow more. All right. Not just more people being able to borrow, but also borrow more. Okay. We're going to have people being able to spend more money. All right. That means they go out and they buy more products. Okay. So, what happens when you have a high demand and a low supply?
Yeah, somebody actually was mentioning this. I think it was Dean or Parker or Johnny, but they have an economics degree. I don't have an economics degree, so I understand what you're saying. I don't have an economics degree to speak on that. I'm not
Neither
gonna
do
argue.
I, but I know simply Econ 101 teaches us all right, that's called inflation, buddy. We know that.
I understand. Okay. I get the point you're making. I think that yeah, something else in relating to the last conversation. I was here, then I got a phone call. It was about an hour ago. Give me 1 second.
Rich, don't you take no phone calls. When you come back, I want you to tell us how we can find what can we find common ground and on what?
Yeah, of course. You know, it's about to be a new year. Imagine not finding common ground. You know, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to agree on. So the
Like
common
what?
ground, well, they signed off on the release, you know, of the files. And we can all agree that's a good thing. So, you know, imagine thinking that's a bad thing. You know, we all imagine, you know, we all you know, are on the same page with that. Is what I'm saying. We're all on the same page with that. And gas prices coming down, you know, imagine not appreciating that. You know, I know everybody, we all benefit from gas prices coming down. My cousin Billy drives a truck. trucking company. Gas prices coming down. That's going to save him thousands of dollars every year. So there's a lot to appreciate. You know.
Rich,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
really want you to be so friggin' for real. All right. What's the purpose of a lower gas price if our groceries are still expensive? All right. If it still costs me, all right, $30 more to pay for the exact same items right now that it did a year ago, what is the point, Rich?
No,
There's
I understand that. I understand that. Black Friday just came. There were some good deals, so I don't necessarily
He's so
think
fucking for
that
real. Consumer
if they,
confidence is the lowest that it's been since I believe since 2020.
yeah, and that we're working on it. That's the next step, though. The actual grocery prices,
Real
but the
quickly,
gas is the
W's in the
real.
chat for Vincent for the $5 cash app. What's Black Owen Wilson doing back here? Wow. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I
Wow.
don't know. It's weird. I still got to edit that soundbite and add it to the soundboard. By the way, W's in the chat for Vincent. W's in the chat for Vincent. Appreciate your support, guys. That just leaves us 10 left to knock out the daily goal. Anyone who will support the platform that way, you may do so with the links in my bio. It's going to be Hector Talks with 2 R's on Cash App and Venmo, and then Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's on the PayPal. Those of you on the Tube side, what's up, Tube? Make sure that you do the good things over there, and then you may send a super chat, and that's how you support the platform that way. Make sure we're also taking good care of Erica, where she's at on the coins. Can we do 10K coins? If we do 10K coins, I'm sending a screenshot to somebody and I'm rubbing it in their face. If we could do 10K coins, that would be fucking amazing. But big W's to everyone who's been throwing at her so far. Make it snow on Erica. Make it snow on Erica. But more importantly, because I'm getting too much of that actually, hit up the links in her bio. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's what's next with the grocery prices, though. You're right. That those do need to come down. I'm not disagreeing with you on that, Erica. You've made a couple good points. I've made a couple good points. I've made multiple. We can agree. Yeah, the gas prices, though.
Let's
I'll
go,
agree.
KC. Let's go.
Yeah, we're working on the sugar prices, absolutely. But it's just it's a process, it's step by step. We can't fix everything at one time. So I think that there's a lot of
But the
content
thing,
around.
but okay, you and I, we can agree that grocery prices need to come down. Okay,
Yeah,
fantastic. All right, fantastic. But let's talk about actual stances because I'm not even about to go into a conversation about how Donald Trump has directly contributed to the increase in grocery prices. All right. I'm not even gonna even go there because we could have a long conversation about tariffs. All right,
yeah,
let's just talk about Donald Trump's actions thus far because he doesn't necessarily do anything with policy. It's all about actions for him. Okay, so Rich, tell me with Donald Trump, all right, what can we find common ground on?
with Donald Trump, we can find common ground on the fact that if you want to talk about the illegal immigration or the undocumented migrants, whichever you prefer, those numbers are looking a lot better. We've made progress regardless of where you stand on the issue. We have to agree we've made progress on that issue. You know, now we so that's one thing.
How
Action.
can I possibly agree with us making
God
progress
bless you.
on the issue of immigration when there has been no legislation passed to actually fix the issues at the border?
It's crazy because I say the same thing that you're saying, but then when we look at the numbers, somehow, some way, Trump has affected them going down. You know what I mean? So I don't know what he's doing, if he's just rubbing his hands, but it's working. Maybe it's
But
speeches, but it's
that's
working.
not a that's not a good thing though, Rich. All right? Because it's not just people coming to the border seeking, to live here in the United States of America. It's tourism also. We have people
How many coins you got there, Erica?
coming. I got 10,000.
Big dubs. Big dubs. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I appreciate y'all. Thank you. Drop some hearts in the chat for yourselves. Thank you so very much. So Rich, with that being said, it's tourism. We have people come in, not just from the southern border, but also from the northern border to visit the United States, right? And our tourism economy is down. It's extremely down. I think thus far is down by about $17 billion because of what Donald Trump has been doing. And of course, I'm going to fact check myself on that number. But it's definitely is down. Vegas is suffering right now. So is Florida. All right.
Yeah,
The
and
only thing keeping California together is Hollywood.
yeah, and I wouldn't necessarily blame that on Trump specifically. I would more so assign the illegal immigration, undocumented migrants, that is due to Trump, but the tourism, that's a whole nother conversation.
No,
We have,
tourism is because of Trump, though, Rich. You want to know why? We're on a human rights watch list right now because of the immigration tactics that Donald Trump has been doing, along with other issues that I won't mention for fear that you might try to pivot there. But specifically, we're in regards to immigration right now is why we're on a human rights watch list. All right. And so that's affecting our economy. That's affecting jobs. That's affecting the communities around those areas, like the communities around Vegas.
God bless you.
All right. So we have to look at the bigger picture
Thank
here,
you, Non. Thank you,
Rich.
society.
and it is it's scary, but I wonder, is this a trend, or is this just a dip? Because if it's just a dip, then there's nothing to worry about today. Whenever there's a dip or a spike, there's nothing to worry about. But if it's a trend in that direction, then that is something to worry about. You know what I mean? And I don't necessarily think it's a trend in that direction. I just think that it's a just a quick dip, but it's going to level out. It'll level out. I'm very confident.
It's not going to level out if Donald Trump continues to actually do what he is doing in regards to immigration. And it's not just a dip. This is literally a trend that has been occurring since February of this year. All right. So we're experiencing a dip in tourism each month. Even summer travel was down to the United States. All right. And that's typically the highest performing months, the highest grossing months, I should say. All right. That was
Yeah.
down. Mhm.
Yes, Erica's correct. And this is literally the biggest decline.
God bless you.
Specifically, if we're talking about the trend since Donald Trump took the Oval Office all the way up until December, it's been going down persistently. And then this is the biggest drop that we've had specifically in December since 2020. Friendly
Wow.
reminder that the world
Wow.
shut down in 2020. As it currently sits right now, the number of international tourism has dropped to the point of the pandemic. Point that
International
out.
tourism has dropped down to the numbers of the end. Okay. That does seem like it may be exaggerated. I'm not going to say that because I don't have the numbers,
Thank you,
but
Casey.
that
Thank
may
you,
seem
Non.
like it.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
That may be exaggerated, but I'm not going to necessarily 100% 10 toes down contest that because I don't have my sources. I do this for a living, so I know that when I make a claim that's too bold to substantiate, that it may come back to hurt me. So I'm just going to not say that.
What do you do for a living?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely.
What do you do for a living?
Yep. This is my job, and I debate for a living, and I understand all the
Are you
positions and all
fucking
the
joking?
encounters. No, 100% serious. And so that's why I know
You're
that.
being
No, I know.
serious. I don't believe you, bro.
No, I do, and that's why I know that if I make a claim that's too bold to substantiate, that it can come back to hurt me. I do this for a living, you know. I do this. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. When you no, wow, are we not showing respect? We're not going to show no respect. Wow, wow. So now we're doing personal attack. That's personal attack. Wow. 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 We've been respectful. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. We've been respectful. We've been respectful this whole time. We've been respectful this. Oh, wow. Wow.
Oh
Wow.
shit,
Dude, when you have
Rich.
company at your
Rich.
company at your house, you have to be respectful. You know, when you have company,
So,
then
Rich,
you
what
gotta.
is it that you do again?
Oh God,
Wow. Wow.
Rich. I just want to.
Yeah,
I
I was
want to let
saying.
you know. I want to let you know. Out of all the laughs I've had in the last couple of days on this app, that was the biggest one. And I want to thank you personally from the bottom of my
Wow.
heart for giving me that laugh. For that reason and that reason alone, I'm going to send you a single rose. Thank you so much, Rich. Carry on.
Wow, dude, I kind of enjoy it. That's a backhanded compliment, but I'll take it. I'll take it. It's kind of backhanded, but yeah, this is what I do for a living. So that's why I know that if I make a claim that's too bold to substantiate, then it can come back to hurt me. And I've done that before when I was new, but like when I was new to doing this for a living, I made that mistake a couple times. So I know not to make a claim that's too bold to substantiate. I have to have
Okay.
I have to have proof and evidence and sources and data and statistics in order to substantiate my claims. That's what I've learned from
Yeah.
doing this for a living.
So you can look at like different sources like Visa Verge. You can look at what is it? Travel and Tour World. All right, these are different places that different companies that track tourism, right? And what we can see is that New York City, of all places, right, has 17% fewer international visitors. All right, that equates to 2 million less people visiting New York City thus far this year. That's a $4 billion loss in
Yeah,
spending.
yeah.
$4 billion that could have been injected into the New York economy. All right.
Yeah,
We
okay.
can talk about Los Angeles, 9% decline. San Francisco, also 9%. Las Vegas is in the double digits. Las Vegas is in the double digits, dude. Like, I need you to think about that. And you know why? Do you know why? All right. The reason why, especially those cities on the East Coast, are experiencing a decline is because of the Trump administration denying visas, stricter entry policies. All right. And now it also costs more to come into the United States since Trump actually increased the cost for people to enter the states, even charging a fee to file for asylum.
Yeah, okay. Um, if those numbers are true, then that is terrible. I didn't realize that it's causing that much of a burden. You said millions, or I think you maybe even said billions would
Billions,
be.
billions of dollars, billions.
I need to look into that. I would at this point I would rather change the topic because I didn't realize that it was that big of a number. So I can't defend something like that. You know, I do this for a living and I know when to bail out. And so
So
on that topic,
so Rich, all right then. So since that's the
yeah,
case, right? Quick question for you. Quick question.
absolutely.
All right. Can we find common ground on the fact that Donald Trump is a shit president?
Well, I would say you could say I'll meet you halfway, Erica. I'll meet you halfway. I'll say that he is you could say a shit person, but not a shit president, though. You know, you could say his character. You could say that. So I'll meet you halfway. I'll meet you halfway on that one, Erica. I'll meet you halfway. We can meet halfway on that.
Rich, did you know that he was a shit person? Go ahead, Hector. I saw
Just
you come off mute.
real quick correction on my part. Real quick correction on my part. This the reduction I was talking about would be including spending and overall tourists who's coming from. The major factor, the biggest one would be specifically from Canada. And that was a projection based off of what we saw in 2020, 2021, 2022. So yes, go ahead.
So we're not. Oh, whoa! Hold on now.
Oh, I
Hold on
have
now. See now,
more.
let
No,
me
I
cook.
have
Let me.
more.
We can't just skate past that. See, do you see what he just did? He just tried to make it seem as if we're just as bad as the pandemic numbers. But now he just came back
Well,
and
again, I just corrected myself, and this will be a decline that even the pandemic didn't recognize. So yeah, I just
okay.
corrected myself. So I mean, sure,
But
you can
I
take your
have
win,
one.
but yeah, I pride myself
Yeah.
on
Yep.
factual information, and I said something wrong. I corrected myself. Go ahead.
But
So
also,
I
Rich,
won
don't
that one. So
start.
I won that one. I won that one. Now
No, you
I'll
didn't.
let it slide.
Rich, you
I'll let
won
it slide.
nothing. You won
I'll let
nothing.
that slide.
Rich, you didn't win anything. Stop. All right. Are you familiar with The Economist, Rich?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Cool. Okay. So per The Economist, all right, because of tourism, and this is an article, all right, that they published this in September of 2025. All right. $12.5 billion. $12.5 billion gone from the US economy because tourism is down, because we do not have people visiting the United States of America for the exact reasons that I mentioned. All right. I mentioned the Human Rights Watch list earlier. All right. So people don't want to travel here via car, like from the northern and southern borders. All right. Also, we have increased cost on visas. Okay. And also, people don't want to come here out of fear that they may be detained. Because what if you're a tourist, all right, and you leave your visa at the hotel and you get stopped by ICE? Like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Okay. Well, okay. ICE isn't
That's
just stopping.
scary.
Yeah, it is absolutely scary, but ICE isn't just stopping people left and right because they're foreigners now. We don't need to sit here and fear monitor that. But I do agree with your first initial statement. That is terrible. If the numbers are that high, as how much money we're losing, and tourism is down, that's obviously a horrible thing. That makes it sound like nobody wants to come over here. That's terrible. Yeah, so I don't think that that's a good thing. But where okay, how do
God
we
bless you.
my question is how do you link that to Trump though? What is the link? Like just because this is what they call a causation correlation fallacy, a causation
No, it's
correlation
not.
fallacy. Because I do this for a living and I know what a causation correlation fallacy is. And
Rich,
so
oh my
I,
God.
is there a link? I'm asking if
Oh
there
my
a link
Hector, is
between
there a link, Hector? Is there a link? Is there a link to
is
the
there
to visas costing more? Could it be that Donald Trump implemented via the big ugly bill increase in immigration fees? Could that
wow.
be it? Could it be Donald Trump signing
Cooking on.
executive orders and directing federal agencies to go to different major cities, all right, to stalk and harass immigrants? Could it be that? Could it be
Wow.
that? I don't know. I don't know. I think that those might be links though. Hey Hector, are those
Yeah.
links?
I would argue those are links, but really quickly.
Yeah.
Um, guys, I think it's absolutely fucking ridiculous that this whole time we've been here doing this, we still didn't hit 100K or 200K. Like, do you guys want to stress me out? Is that what we're doing? I choose to be common groundy and peaceful, and y'all just want to test my limits. Is that what we're doing? Let's tap the screen. There's 233 of you in here. Let's tap the screen. Let's get up to 225K. We can do that. We can do that awfully quick. All right? Do better. Thank you so much for all your support. But Jesus fuck. I'm letting Erica carry this conversation because this is going to be my test to crash out, and I refuse to let it happen. So Erica's going to lead this shit. And thank you so much for showing her love. Now I need you to do it with the links in the bio. Her links in her bio. Also, we have 10 more left in the goal. Those of you who want to knock that out, I would greatly appreciate you. Obviously, the goal is just a guidance. I would love to make more than that. But I appreciate everyone who's donated so far. Anyone who wants to support the platform, the best ways to do so is going to be those links in the bio. Hector Talks with 2 R's on Cash App and Venmo, and Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's on the PayPal. Those of you on the Tube side, what's up, Tube? Make sure you send a super chat. Best ways to support the platform over there. But thank you all for your likes, your comments, your heart me's, your engagements, your shares, and everything else. The Discord link is fixed, so you may join that. The link's in the link tree in the bio on the Tickety Talk. We are 540 something members strong. There's also going to be the shop. And yeah, y'all carry on.
Yeah, I just think that all those that you named, Erica, could potentially be related, but I just want to establish a link so I know for certain that Trump is the reason why
What would
tourism is
be
down.
what would be an established link for you? What would be a causation for you? Would it be Donald Trump standing at in LaGuardia or JFK or something telling people they can't come in? Like, what would be a link
Well,
for you, Rich?
well, I mean, I wouldn't go that far. We wouldn't need
Oh,
that.
yes, real quickly. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you're over on the Tube side, you cannot request up. You may call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Erica's entertaining this. I'm over it. I would like to actually have a Trump supporter that we can find some common ground on. Without sitting
Exactly.
up here playing in my fucking face about doing this full time. Carry on.
Yeah, he
All
said he
right.
does this full time. It's so fucking funny. All
Because
right, so Rich.
I've heard you guys say that just because something happened during the Biden administration does not mean Biden caused it. So now I'm simply testing your own logic against you. Just because something's happened during the Trump, government,
So
presidency
what
doesn't
do
mean
you
it's caused.
think? What do you think is the causation, Rich? Tell the class.
Th- I mean, it could just happen to be so. There might not be a correlation. That's what I'm saying. It might not be. We can't necessarily assume there's a correlation.
Am I tripping or did Erica not give you an example already? But anyways, real quick, W's in the chat for Natalia for the $5 Cash App. Natalia said, please ask Rich specifically how he makes a living. I most certainly will. Rich, specifically, how do you make a living?
Wow. I don't understand the question. I'll be honest. I'm trying to talk. We're talking about Trump. I don't understand. There's too many questions at this point.
Well, you're the one who
There's just
brought
too many
up how
questions.
this is your living. So if anything, if
This is
anything, you're the
this
one who would have pivoted from Trump. So go
this
ahead.
is my job. This is my job, my full-time job. I do this for a living.
Okay.
This is how I pay my bills.
Really?
100%.
Okay. And how do you do that? How's that?
Hector,
Yeah.
you're something in our ears.
Yeah. So I'll answer this, but I just want to acknowledge that this is definitely a pivot. I was asking for a correlation,
It
causation.
absolutely is a
Without
pivot. It absolutely is a pivot. I'm acknowledging that it's a pivot. So anyways, how do you make money full time off this app?
Yep. So I don't know if you've been into one of my lives, but I host lives almost every single day.
Does he host
People
lives,
come
Erica?
all the time.
I don't know. I've never seen Rich live
See,
before.
this is your people. This is your people, so I figured you would know.
Why you gotta
Yeah,
be my
so
people?
I host lives
You gotta do that face.
daily,
That's fucked up.
every single day, and people come and they donate to me. They give me tons of money. I make tons of gifts. I do this for a living. I do this every single, almost every day for about.
I do know Rich is black though.
I do this for about 3 hours a day. Then people they follow me on Instagram and Twitch and Facebook and YouTube and Kick. And then there's another one.
So here's what I want you to do.
That's
When's the
do
next time you're going live?
I'm going live tomorrow at about 8 o'clock.
8 a.m. or p.m.?
8 a.m.
8 a.m.
I'm gonna follow Rich.
I go live.
You know what I'm finna
8
do?
a.m.
I'm finna follow
They're
you.
yeah.
So
and then I
211 of you in here. There are 211 of you in here, and whoever's on the tube side, you're all witnesses. We have this documented.
Oh no, we don't need to do this now. No.
According to Rich,
we don't need to necessarily do that.
No. No, you good, bro. You good, bro. No, you got it, bro. You got it, bro. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Oh, now you gonna run. Now you gonna fucking run.
I wanted
now
him
you
to
gonna
do the
run.
thing where I wanted him to do the thing where he yells into the phone. That
Now
shit
he
is
gonna
funny.
run.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Look at that. Look at that. Never mind. Because I set it in my phone, guys. I turned off my alarm tomorrow because it's Sunday. I just set a fucking alarm for 8 a.m. and I was gonna follow him on my backup just to go and see what his live was about. Because I'm a petty nigga.
I'll literally wake up at a 6 a.m. because I think Rich is in Florida. So I'll wake up at 6 a.m. not to miss that.
I sure as fuck have never seen this mofo host a goddamn live, much less make any substantial coins to say he makes a fucking living off of it. Bro don't even have his links in his bio, dog.
Yeah, I think Rich probably does host lives, but not under Rich Poor. Rich is probably like some creator on the left trolling the hell out of people, but we'll never know who it is.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's just annoying. Hit a restart.
All right, y'all. Thank you for hitting 200K. We're going to go ahead and do a quick restart. Tube, stick around. You'll be just fine. We have a separate camera for that. But those of you on the TikTok side, wait, there's 211 of you in here. I need a commitment from at least 100 of you. I need a commitment for at least 100 of you that you're coming back. Otherwise, why am I coming back? Can I get some people to confirm that they're coming back? In fact, let's do a quick poll. That's what we're going to do. There we go. Smiley face if you're coming back. Frowny face if you're not. All right? Fuck off, Shauna. Smiley face if you're coming back. Frowny face if you're not. This is going to determine if I come back. Not Erica with the cry face. You the one who told me to do the fucking restart.
He did. I don't know. I'm sleepy. I don't know if I'm going to go live or not. If I do, it'll probably be later. I don't know.
Well, let me know.
I don't know.
I
Okay, guys. I feel like I'm going to get like a whole bunch of races, and I don't I'm not in the mood for it, Hector, especially with having to be on camera. Off camera, I can handle it. On camera, I'm like, bruh, give me a friggin' break.
I know what that's like. Yeah, this is my last hiatus to me. In fact, I almost wasn't going to restart, but fuck it. We'll do it for a couple, and then we haven't fully hit our goal yet. So, all right, 32 of you. Only 32 of you are coming back?
Yeah, see, them polls, man. Them polls, y'all. These polls, yo, y'all be, y'all need to engage.
Engagement, man. Engagement.
It matters.
All right. I guess I'll restart
Help
for 32
me.
of you.
Help me, nigga.
Please. All right. I guess we'll come back. Come back. Oh, thank you, Non, for the $5 Cash App. He follows so much. I think that means he follows so much Dem debate accounts, also calling BS. Yeah, I didn't believe that shit for a second. Non. I've been seeing him around panel hopping. And I'm like, you barely could get off a panel with more than 10 coins. What the fuck are you talking about? You do this for a living. And the reason he had 10 coins here is because I sent him a rose that was worth 10 coins. What are we talking about?
Was that a mistake? I think that was a mistake. You meant to send a regular one, but sent the Rosa.
I really did. It's fine. It's fine. But big W's to Non. That clears out our goal. But now I'm like, I'm finna up this goal if y'all want me to come back, because that's kind of crazy. I'm gonna up this goal if y'all want me to come back. I'm gonna be generous though. We'll just do that one. We'll just do 25 more. It's fine. All right. We'll be back. We're gonna do a quick restart. Literally about 60 seconds. We'll be back. Tube, stick around. We'll be right back. Erica will be here.
Thank
she
you,
wants
guys.
to be here. But I'll see y'all in a bit.
Thanks for the love, y'all.
Of course. All right, let's do this restart. Tube, what a live. What a fucking live today. Jesus, man. Let's go ahead and get this show started back up. Those of you on the Tube side, let's see, 25 of you. If you haven't hit that like button, make sure you like the stream. Looks like the Tube is popping off a little bit more than usual. That's good. The consistency is helping. So continue to do the things, guys. Continue to do the things. And I appreciate all the fantastic mods over there. I rarely get to look at the Tube chat. So I appreciate every last one of you for being on the lookout over there for us. Thank you so much, Feisty. Thank you, Taro. Thank you. I think Wizard. Wizard should be a mod over there. So yeah. Alrighty. And we are back on the Tube. I actually need Erica to come back because now I got to pee. I'll wait till we get a guest at least. Welcome back in, everybody. Welcome back in. We're going to run this for a little bit longer, just a little while longer. I'll tell you what. It's 6:15 p.m. CST. We'll do about 45. We'll do about 45 more minutes, so 7 p.m. We'll probably conclude unless it gets crazy. We'll go ahead and do that. But I appreciate everyone. Welcome back into the mess. We've had one hell of a live already. But yes, y'all know what to do. Tap up the screen. Let's get the likes up. And see what kind of conversations we can get today. I want to remind everyone that I have not crashed out today. I started this live and I said, Ashwagandha Hector. I'm going to be cool. I'm going to be calm. I'm going to be collected. I'm going to be civil. Excuse me. And I've successfully done that. I have successfully not crashed out today, and I intend to keep that streak going. So now is the best time possible if you're a maggot to request up. Because I've been keeping my commitments, being peaceful and civil with people who I feel like don't even deserve it. I'm texting my friends back. Do I have a text? Oh shit, I do. Whoopsies. I'm the worst with those. Well, I'm alive. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, theys, thems, and MAGA, welcome to the live. I'm of the firm belief that there should be more than enough situations. There should be more than enough positions. There should be more than enough things that we can agree on, and that it should supersede the things that separate us. I'd like to think so. Maybe that's wishful thinking. Maybe I'm just an idealist. I'm really not. But that is the position that I'm going to hold. And the goal of this live is to have civil conversations, civil, respectful conversations with people who think vastly different from me, because I'm of the firm belief that me and a Trump supporter can agree on at least one thing. We should be able to find common ground on at least one thing. All the contention, all the arguing, all the slurs, we're going to avoid that today. We did so for the last 3 hours. So for the final hour of this live, we're going to keep that going and keep trying to engage in these conversations in good faith. As of right now, we have our first guest up. So let's see what we have here. Nate the Great. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
Yes, hello. Yes, thanks for having me up.
Wonderful, wonderful. What do you think we can find common ground on?
Well, I've been of the mind recently that we can probably agree, if assuming you're on the left, and we can agree on, or actually the first step towards coming together would be agreeing on some things, but more specifically, agreeing what the major problems are facing the United States.
Certainly, we would have to have a foundation of that, yes.
So I really believe that the big divide is whether or not mass immigration is good for this country.
Okay.
Or any country, maybe, for that matter. It could be a hypothetical scientific study.
Interesting. So what would you define as mass immigration?
Well, it would be.
Or how would you define mass immigration?
I guess that would warrant pinning a hard number on the amount of immigrants coming to our country. So I think we're at like 1 million a year. If we whether or not it's legal or illegal. And then I keep hearing it was 10,000 a day under the previous administration, which if you do the math, that's 1 million a year.
So that's a bit of an incorrect statement. We know we had a peak of that for time periods throughout the Biden administration. The one I can think of off the top of my head was December 2023, where encounters did very much hit up to 11,000 for a couple of days there, and then that was corrected. And that was around the time where a bill was presented, where Democrats and Republicans both worked on it, and it passed in the House, and then it got denied in the Senate because of, we won't get into that just yet. But you gave a number specifically, I guess, on what you find to be sufficient for the amount of immigrants that we allow here a year. And I think you said 1 million a year?
Well, yeah. Over the last, probably since, gosh, I'd like to say since like 1980. And then apparently there's some debate about the number, and I don't think the number is really going to be a basis for us coming together. I don't think we're going to agree on the number.
Well, sure, but I'm curious, since you threw it out there. I said sure, but I'm curious, since you threw it out there, why would we cap it at
God bless you.
Well, because if there is a referendum for the citizens to create a ballot measure and to vote, I think you're going to find that the majority do not want mass immigration, and feel, and my feeling is on a macro level that it's bad for the country.
That's a theory, but again, you didn't answer my question. Why would we cap it to 1 million specifically, considering that we have 360 million people in this country? I am unaware of any overpopulation issue. In fact, we could look at several communities, more specifically the white community, that are actually at a population decline, why would we cap immigration to this country to only 1 million when that's only a speck of the people that we have here?
Well, I think it has to do with the economy. What's good for the economy is good for the people. The free market economy and the welfare state that are the basically the variables we're working with when we define what the United States is.
The welfare state.
It's important to fine tune these variables.
God bless you.
Thank you, Sean, for
So
that chocolate.
so everyone has an opportunity to participate in the American dream.
How would immigrants challenge Americans' participation or right to the American dream, which would also be afforded to an immigrant, so long as they
you're done
come
with
here
your question?
legally?
No? Okay. It's basic economics. It's supply and demand in regard to the job market. The more low to middle skilled workers that come here drive down wages for the labor class, the working class.
So I'm going to do a quick Google search, and then I'm going to ask one of my mods to
No,
come up for
don't.
a minute because
Don't.
I have to use the bathroom.
Let's just
as
hear what
well.
you have to say.
I'm Googling something to verify what I'm
Google's
about
not
to
going to
say.
give you accurate information anyway. You're going to get articles from like the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, which are very much left-leaning publications.
I'm sorry, what?
Forget it. So obviously,
Do you think factual information is left or right leaning?
Let's check that box. Let's check the box.
Do you think factual information is left or right leaning?
That's a misnomer.
How is it a misnomer?
That's a misnomer. Because how is it a misnomer? Okay. I don't have an answer for you.
Then you probably shouldn't say it.
I think because I think it's a ridiculous question. Because facts are objective. Whether the facts relate to
facts are objective.
Politics,
so that fuels into
or
my
to
question.
biology, or to science. Facts are facts, and are objective and have no partisan implication.
Correct. So the point that you just made about what I would be Googling.
Why would you ask that then?
Because I wanted to get your opinion on it, and then now
it's
that I have your
it's a rhetorical question.
Well, so I'm asking questions instead of assuming your position.
If you have something to say, just say it.
No.
You don't need
so here's
a
how
setup
here's how I
question.
run my lives. It's not a setup question. This isn't a gotcha question. It's the purpose of me asking as many questions as I do is to walk people through their own line of logic to get to a level of understanding with the answers and the responses that I would give instead of me just
why
inserting
don't you
what you think.
What I'm saying with your side of the argument?
Because again, it's a whole lot easier to ask you a question.
Obviously we don't agree on immigration.
All right.
Why don't you state your opinion on immigration?
It is
and why
a whole
it's good for the
lot easier to ask a question and to walk down that line of reasoning to have some type of understanding than me just telling you what you think and then telling you what I think. No. Because I'm hosting these lives from an educational perspective. Okay.
I told you one thing.
I asked you the question that I did, in which case you said facts are objective, right? Which is a factual statement. But that would contradict your earlier statement that you were making, because when I said I was going to Google something real quick, you said, I'm just going to get a bunch of leftist sources. Now, if the information I present to you is factual, then it wouldn't be left or right, whether it comes from the Washington Post or the New York Post. Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
If it's factual, it wouldn't matter if it comes from the New York Post or the Washington Post. Is that correct?
Life Lessons by Hector. That's good. So listen to me.
Can you answer my question now?
So what is your opinion on immigration?
Can you answer my question now?
What ethnicity are you?
Can you? What the fuck does my ethnicity have to do with this?
Your name's Hector. You look. Where are you from?
The United States.
Oh, okay, great.
I was born here.
Fantastic. Did you know 25% of the population in California is foreign born?
No, I did not know that specifically.
Which leads me to my next reason that I believe mass immigration is bad. It's because we lose our sense of culture here in the U.S.
Did you
We,
just
we
cite?
bring in we bring in people from wildly
Did you
different
just cite that
cultures.
25% of the what first is California the first or second biggest state here? I think it's the first, right? Right? Is California the first? I think it is. We'll just go with that for right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the biggest state in the entire country has a 25% population of foreign-born people, which foreign-born doesn't equate to undocumented. So there's that. But
Right, that's
you're
what I said.
you made it. You're trying to
You
make
take
it
a deep breath and maybe just.
I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm saying you're saying
Does
we're
that shock
losing.
you? Or you get?
We're
Are you being,
losing
does it
our
upset you?
sense of whatever you just said based off of
Are you upset?
75% of California having Americans in it.
I'm sorry.
How do
Well,
we
what's
be losing our American culture, or whatever you said, if 75% of the biggest state in the country is still American-born people?
Well, because we have these people coming from wildly different cultures with a complete different set of values and beliefs
Okay,
that don't speak English,
interesting.
that create their own communities within our country, within our cities, and don't become educated, and it becomes we lose the sense of community, and we lose that feel, and we become a community of strangers.
Okay. So
I don't like that.
I'm actually
I would
unaware.
not vote for that.
I'm actually unaware of what
Earlier
you're
I said
talking
it
about. So
should be a referendum.
I'm going to
Go ahead.
assume that you would be knowledgeable on some things that I'm not. And now I'm going to ask you some questions based off of my ignorance on this topic. Is that fair?
How about no? I would rather not do that. How about you give me your reasons for mass immigration?
We just said something. I never necessarily
I'm giving
advocated
you my
for
reasons.
mass
Okay,
immigration,
the
especially if
premise
it's
of this is
unvetted.
what are we going to agree on?
Right. So
Is we need to come
I
together
can't. So
and
you already
find common
presented.
ground.
You already presented your
So until
position,
you give me
which
your
was mass
opinion
immigration.
on the subject
So now we're
matter.
narrowing down. Now we're narrowing down
Right.
how you
You're
define
being
it.
a real
The
dick.
threat. I'm really
You're a
not.
dick.
I've been more than civil this whole
Yeah.
time. So now
I'm
I'm trying
asking you
to narrow
I have
down.
a
I know.
simple request.
Cool. So
Are
I'm
you gonna
trying to
steamroll
answer your
me?
question. We can't have or find out if we can find a common ground or not if I do not understand your position on being anti-mass immigration. Better yet, you somewhat assumed my position is being pro-mass immigration when those are words that never came out of my mouth. I ultimately do not care who comes here so long as they're vetted and not a threat to this country. So if that's something you want to say I'm pro-mass immigration, then sure, so long as they're vetted and everything's properly done. However, I want to ask you again. You said that there can be a threat to American culture. So I want to ask you
Still talking.
what
Wow.
position, I'm almost done. I want to ask you what position or what group of immigrants or whatnot have something in their culture that is the opposite or a threat to something about American culture. Like, does that make sense? Do you understand my question?
You're done?
Yeah. What about immigrants? What about
Yeah.
immigrants' culture threatens
Oh,
American
guess not.
culture?
Okay.
Well, I was clarifying my question. What about immigrants' culture threatens American culture?
I never said it did. I just said it's a different culture. We need to share this.
Did you not make an argument that it
share
is
the same
somewhat
culture.
threatening or erasing or
So we have-
diminishing or
so
reducing
we have-
American
We
culture?
have some okay. So I'd rather that you give your reasons why you're a proponent of mass immigration and why that's good for our country.
I feel like I just stated the fact that they're not a threat to the things that you're talking about, which is now
So
why
we
I'm
should bring-
asking you
We should
how
bring-
they
we
are.
should bring millions of people to our country because they're not a
Are
threat.
you under? Okay, let's try this again. I just said that I literally walked you through
Are
this,
you on your?
and I
Are
said
you on your menstrual? Are you on your period?
I
or
don't
something?
have periods. Interesting assumption. I'm going to keep it civil, though. So you said that the
Dude.
immigration or mass immigration would be somewhat of a diminishing or threat or of a whatnot to American culture, right? And then I would
Did
say
I not
I would
speak clearly?
technically be a
Do you need
proponent.
to paraphrase
I
to
would
understand what
technically
I
be a
said?
proponent of mass immigration, which I clearly would be vetted because I don't believe that they are a threat to American culture.
Okay,
So
and then I
now
asked
I'm
the
asking
question.
you how
So
they
we should
would
bring
be.
millions of people from all over the world to our country because they're not a threat.
No, I don't think we should bring them unless it's a refugee or asylum situation. I think we should allow them to apply and go through the process. I think we should make it easier. And I could care less if it's 10
So
million
the
in there. That is still a drop in the
World
pool of how
Bank.
many American people are here.
Okay, so the World Bank defines poverty as somebody making less than $2 a day, and there's over 5 billion of those in the world. So which one should we start taking to help out?
I'm sorry. Did you just say 5 billion people are making less than $2 a day?
Yeah.
What is the source?
No, I think that's wrong. That's wrong. But there are I know I've made notes on that previously, but there are at least a couple billion that make less than $2 a day.
You know,
So
our
the thing
world
is,
population is about 8 billion, right?
Hold on, hang on. So we've set up the asylum process for what reason?
For what
What
reason?
why are we bringing people here on the basis of asylum? Why are people
Threats to their
seeking
life,
asylum for what reason?
discrimination,
What?
several other factors.
What?
The asylum process, threats to their life, discrimination, gang violence.
So yeah, so that they feel they feel like they're maybe tyranny from the government that in the country they're living in.
Doesn't have to be the
Maybe
government, but yes.
they feel their lives are threatened. They feel like, right? So of the asylum cases, there's apparently like 1.5 million in the backlog of asylum cases. How many of those do you think are actually legitimate asylum cases?
Unsure, but I do know here in the United States, the majority of them are turned away.
Yeah, because we have these people from other countries that come to our country and take advantage of our kindness and generosity, which is another part of our culture.
How does an immigrant take advantage of
care
a
about
process?
our citizens. We're very generous.
Got you. How
70%
does
of the
an
US
immigrant take
budget goes
advantage
towards entitlement.
of these things
What?
that you're talking about? How does an
Why are you
undocumented
interrupting
migrant?
me when I'm talking?
Because I'm trying to get you to clarify your point. You keep saying things and then you'll kind of ramble, and I want you to clarify your point because you
Try to
said
keep
that
up,
they are taking
right?
advantage.
If you listen, you might learn something.
Well, can you? Okay, great. So, are you going to tell me now or in the next 2 minutes how an undocumented migrant is taking advantage of anything here in America in a negative
Have you
fashion?
been watching the news?
What about the
Have
news?
you been? Okay, so we have these people from wildly different cultures, like Nigeria or Somalia or Afghanistan, who think it's who basically make it their life's work to scam the government out of any way they can through like credit card schemes, through Medicaid.
What does that have to do with
Medicare.
Somalian culture or Afghan culture?
I'm sorry?
Is Somalian and Afghan culture scamming Americans?
Yeah, I think it's documented. If you want to get on your computer and Google "feeding our future Minnesota,"
Mm-hmm. Cool. So here's the problem with what you just said.
start reading
I asked a
some
very
articles
specific
about it.
question, and I don't think you understood
Plus,
it, or maybe
plus
you
if
did,
they're
and you're
not
just
they're
hateful.
not
I'll go ahead and repeat
assimilating to our
myself.
country.
I'll go ahead and repeat myself.
They're
So
net,
you said
they're net drain
you said with your full
economically.
chest.
I'm still talking.
Okay, no, because now you're moving on. We can't move to the next point until we address one point that you've made. And I asked you if scamming Americans was Afghan and Somali culture. You said yes. I'm going to give you a level of credibility and a grace that you really don't deserve. And I'm going to assume that you did not understand what I asked. And I'm going to clarify it and give you a chance to answer again. Because last I checked, people
You're a
from a
puss.
specific
You're a
culture
fucking pussy.
robbing Americans or anyone for that matter
No,
wouldn't
you
be
said
that wouldn't be a blight on their culture. That would be a blight on the individuals who just so happen to be a part of a certain
right,
culture.
buddy.
So I want to give you this chance to answer again. Is robbing
I'm
Americans
surprised. Hey, you know,
a
I'm
part?
proud of you.
If robbing Americans a part of Afghan and Somali culture? Yes or no?
Wait, what?
Is robbing Americans a part of Afghan and Somalian culture?
I think you're trying to set me up for
I'm
something.
really not. It's a
Don't-
clear question.
Don't put. Just say what you're gonna say. Don't. Put
I
words in my
cannot
mouth.
say what I want
Don't
to
make
say
it a
because then
setup
I would be
question.
assuming your position.
Say what you're gonna
My guy,
fucking
you have
say.
an issue with me assuming your position, so I'm not trying to assume your position. That's why I'm asking you. Thank you for the follows. I'm not going to assume your position, so I'm asking a clarifying question again.
I
Do
decline to answer
you
that
think?
question.
Okay, you decline to answer the question. So you
I
decline
have a
to answer
question
if
for
you
you.
believe that
I
robbing
have a
people
question for
is
you there.
associated with someone's
Are you gonna
culture.
steamroll me now?
No.
Now you're gonna steamroll me.
Well, you actually kind of, yeah, because you're not answering questions, so I don't know what the point is of
No,
even
you're
letting
not
you
answering
speak.
my question.
Because you're not answering mine. If you are under the belief, I'll tell you what, we'll do a hypothetical. If you're under the belief that robbing people is a part of someone's culture, then that's racism. That's xenophobia.
God bless
You
you.
associating a group of people based off of where they come from or their race with crime is the problem with this country, and it's the problem with
Oh, there
people
we
like
go. You know,
you
I'm
or
really
other
proud of you,
individuals
Hector.
who
I'm really
argue
proud
that
of you.
mass immigration is a problem because you're under the belief that mass immigration means more people want to harm you.
I'm sorry,
Despite the statistics showing over
I don't want
150
these
years
people
of
here.
data that support
They're
the
a
claim
drain on
that
our
immigrants
economy.
are less likely to do the things that you're talking about versus American citizens. That's the problem that I have when people like you and others
They're
talk about
drain on our
stopping
economy.
mass immigration.
Are you done?
Yes.
They're a drain on our economy.
How?
They do poorly.
How?
Their unemployment rates are much higher than our.
It's
than the
actually
citizens
not.
here.
I'm sorry. What
Yes.
what evidence do you
Google
have
it,
to support the claim
Get
that
on
an
your Google.
undocumented migrant's unemployment is less than Americans? Also,
No,
I do
I'm
want to
talking
go
about
back to another claim that you made because we
Okay,
currently
the other
have
one-
more
the other
job
one is-
openings. We currently have more job openings than people who are unemployed. So you mentioned something earlier
Because
about
they're
like
high-
immigrants
they're-
taking the
no.
jobs. I know you mentioned something earlier about immigrants taking the
You're gonna
jobs.
fast talk
According
me
to
now,
you, the
okay.
Americans don't even want these jobs. So as far as I'm concerned, somebody's got to do it. In
I
fact,
never said
capitalism
that.
approves of that. So back to
All
your
I said
point.
is they drive down
How are
wages for the
they?
labor class.
How do they do that?
All right, dude. All right. So are you going to let me talk? Or
If you're going to actually substantiate your claims, yes, because you've been moving from point to
you're going to
point.
keep talking, in other words.
Because you've been moving from point to point. Can you
Okay,
narrow
so
down
here's the
one
thing.
way? Can you narrow
Okay.
down one way specifically that they are driving
Okay.
down
That's how you win arguments, you
wages?
just keep talking. Okay. So the thing is, the immigrants that we bring in from like Central America and Mexico, and these folks are all low
You
to
know
middle
what?
skilled.
How are we bringing these people in? You keep saying that. How are we bringing them in?
They're hopping the border at 10,000 a day during the last administration, who freaking turned.
Cool. So cool.
And let,
So
and
if they're
let it all
hopping the
happen
border,
at
how are we
common
bringing them in?
knowledge.
If they're hopping the border, how are we bringing them in?
Because we're not deterred. Because when Biden took office, he reversed all of President Trump's previous executive orders.
That's not true,
like
but even if it
remain in
was, that wouldn't be
Mexico.
bringing them in.
It's and then they instilled the catch and release for the asylum seekers, and so we let
They
all these
didn't
people,
instill
like 30
catch
million,
and release. It's
30 million plus illegals in this country.
30
Who
plus
are
million
drain
illegals
on the
in this country.
economy.
Got you. You know what, guys? I think it's time. I think it's time for a pool. I think it's time for a pool. Better yet, maybe it won't last that long. I haven't decided yet. Give me a second, bigot. Do me a favor, double tap that screen till the hard bar gets full. There are 187 of you in here. Let's get the likes up to at least 50K. What are we doing? What are we doing? Tap the screen, show the algorithm we want to be here. Send your daily heart means if you're a team member. If you're not considering being one right now, look in the top left corner. You're going to see a follow button. If you're not following me, you absolutely should. It would probably be a good idea to follow me because I do this regularly, and I'm typically not this patient, but I made a commitment for this live specifically that I will not crash out, and I intend to keep it. Those of you on the Tube side, what up, Tube? Make sure you like the stream, and the best ways to support the platform is going to be the links in the bio, or better yet, the super chat that you may share over there. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. Did I miss one? I may have missed one. I sure did miss one. W's in the chat for Feisty for the $10 super chat on Tube. Make this virgin cry. I think he does that all on his own. But I appreciate you, Feisty. W's in the chat for Feisty. W's in the chat for Feisty. 1 second before we get to you, Manny. I want to get back to you, Nate. Nate, do you have a tendency to come up on panels, say the most egregious and unfactual shit, and then pivot to the next point instead of actually substantiating
Explain
one
to me
claim?
what's not factual.
Cool. What's not factual is what you said about us letting in undocumented migrants. What's factual is what you said about
Okay,
them
we already went over that.
of them being
We already went over
net
that.
negative.
You're gonna keep
What's
talking,
in? I'm going over everything that you said that's infactual.
Okay, well,
no
the first
problem.
thing you said was
no problem.
was incorrect.
Oh, the first thing I
because we
said. What
already
was the first thing I
reviewed
said?
that.
What was the first thing I said?
God bless you.
You said that we're letting them in. We're letting them in, and
Great.
we already talked about that.
We talked about how you were wrong in that
explained
statement. Yes.
I explained the Biden administration.
You did not explain
reversed
how the Biden administration let anyone
Trump had it handled, and it reversed.
in. Well, you
all of
specifically said brought
Trump's-
them in.
Okay, you're not going to listen to me. Okay.
No, well, you keep. Okay, well, now you said he
Start your next
reversed.
test
You said he
then. I'll
reversed
go on
policies.
mute.
I mean, you can probably run. That's fine.
I'll just go
But
on mute.
you said he reversed Trump policies that stopped people from coming in, or
So you're
whatever
trying-
you said.
you
So what
think-
was it?
you
Give me one.
think you know something.
Give me one. Just give me one.
And what I was
Just
if
give me
you
one.
Let me continue. We don't need
Just
to
give me one.
backtrack.
I just need you to give me
Let's
one.
just continue.
I just
because
need you to
was
give me one.
talking about
I just need
the
you to give
low
me
to
one.
middle skilled workers.
I just need you to give me one.
Okay. I swear to God, I'd fucking break your nose.
I bet you would.
If you were in the
It's
same
it's very common in your culture to be violent, especially towards people
white
who
people
look like
are
me.
hella fucking violent.
Yeah. I don't know why you think
Especially
that's a
to anybody
surprise.
with melanin, like,
I don't know
it's
why you
like-
think that's
honestly-
a surprise.
Honestly, I think it's in their genes. I think it's built into their nature
Something
for
in their
white
nature,
people to be
man.
violent. It's very apparent that they're born and that they're bred this way. White people are bred violently. I think that
How's that
they
work?
have
How's
white
that process
tendency.
I'll tell you what,
I think their
Nate.
tendency in white nature.
I'll tell you
to
what,
be
Nate.
How did that
Are you?
process
Where are you
work
at,
out
Nate?
well?
Are you in Texas?
I'm in Idaho.
Ah, boo. Okay. I was gonna have some fun. Go ahead, Manny.
You're going to have some fun.
Anyways, so you specifically stated that they're a net drain. Can you tell me your source for that?
Yeah. It's the Federal Administration for Immigration Reform. It's fair.org. In 2020.
So you mean this fair that says the Federal Federation for Immigration, American Immigration
Their-
Reform,
their
fair
study-
bait.
their
This
study
are you
came out-
talking? Are you talking about this one that says low factuality and extremely right? And also, are you talking about the? Oh, wait, this is the American Immigration Council. Immigrants contribute billions of federal tax to federal and state taxes each year. This one is published in what is that? April 15 of 2024. Or maybe you're talking about, oh shit, the Cato Institute debunking FAIR's fiscal burden on illegal immigration study is fatally flawed. Or maybe you're talking about, oh wait, this one maybe you're talking about this one from the National Immigration Law Center where they fact check the same thing. Or maybe you're talking about, nope, this is Immigration Council where they say statistically hot air, FAIR's USA report lacks credibility. Or maybe you're talking about the Cato Institute, this one that was in 2023 where the fiscal impact of immigration in the United States
Oh, no,
debunks
this guy's
FAIR.
going to fast talk me, huh?
It's not
Oh,
fast
you're gonna
talk if you
fast
can't
talk me.
keep up. I implore you to keep the fuck up when someone is actually giving you information.
shut
Nate.
up.
All right, little bitch boy? All right, there we go. So
okay.
FAIR, who has been completely debunked by not only the American Immigration Council, by the Cato Institute,
Blah, blah,
but
blah,
also
blah,
by
blah,
the
blah.
legal National Immigration Law Center.
Okay, Manuel. Explain
I
to
don't
me
Why did
care.
they always say your name?
I don't
like
care.
that?
Because Nate's a little racist bigot bitch boy that I always dog walk. So like,
Yeah, big deal.
anyways, hey, who has, since you went to asylum seeking, let's go there next. All right, Nate. What's the highest number of people that have sought asylum in the United States?
Just say what you're going to say. You don't need a setup question.
Do you know where they come from?
I'm sorry. 1 second. Guys, if you've been following Manny, first off, make sure you're following Oh shit, Manny, I gotta remove you. It said you got a violation for something, and now my live is restricted. I'm not sure what that's about. Come back up. Come back up, Manny. If you guys have been following Manny for a bit, there's this tendency that tends to happen whenever he comes up here, and he does his thing, where people go out of their way to say his name in a specific fashion. Okay. And I find it super duper interesting when they do so, considering that Manny is not only a black man, but I don't. It just blows my mind when they go out of their way to say Manuel. It's fucking insane. But make sure we're following and taking care of Manny while he's here for that cook. He's gonna continue to cook in a moment. I just want to give a shout out to Heidi for the $10 Venmo, or no, the $10 PayPal. I appreciate you so much, Heidi, for your support. Big W's to Heidi in the chat, y'all. Big W's to Heidi in the chat. I appreciate your support so fucking much. Guys, best way to support the platform is going to be links in the bio, Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo. Best way to support the platform. If you're over on the Tube side, you may send a super chat. Thank you all for what you're doing so far. We do have this little goal here for the 10 crowns. Do all the good things. Go ahead, Manny.
I know I got a violation. It's because I said the thing about white people and their tendencies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently, TikTok doesn't like it when you say that about white people, but it's okay to say that about
I think he just
everybody
literally
else.
associated Somalian and Afghan culture with robbery and crime, but he's fine. So I think that's interesting. Anyway.
It's cool. You know, Oracle is going to, TikTok is going to TikTok. Anyways, so Nate, you can do yourself a favor and either drop or you have a conversation. Although I don't think you have conversation skills.
You know something?
There you go. Awesome. So asylum seekers, specifically affirmative asylum seekers in the United States. See, all I had to do was insult you and you were going to come off of mute. So asylum seekers, specifically asylum seekers that have been affirmative asylum seekers, that would be the leading. Most people have been from China. All right. Defensive asylum seekers in the United States. China again. Would you have imagined?
The facts
China
aren't aligning with
the facts aren't aligning with what you believe, right? Because you don't believe in facts.
Your facts aren't aligning with our discussion there, Manuel. So just relax for a second.
Sure, real quick. W's in the chat for AC over on the Tube side. Better yet, justice over tyranny. For the $2 super chat, he said, W's, Manny. Thank you for all you do, Hector. Big W's to you, justice over tyranny. Big W's to you. W's in the chat. W's in the chat. Carry on.
Okay, what about Minnesota, or did you say Venezuela?
I got muted again. Okay. Go ahead, frickin' the party of censorship and control. There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so what are you crying about?
So Manuel, what's your argument for the upside to mass immigration for the
mass immigration? Okay, so first off, we don't have mass immigration in the United States. We never have, right? Outside of the one time in the United States, so I'm going to tell you, right? Outside of the one time in United States history where we actually did no vetting process for immigration, period, which would be Ellis Island, to just say, hey, do you have lice? No? All right, cool. You're white. You're in. That's awesome. Oh, are you Japanese? No, you got to stay your ass over there. Outside of Ellis Island, we have never had mass immigration in the United States. Even the people that have came over to seek any type of immigration status, regardless of how they came over, southwest border, northern border, through on a fucking boat or over on a plane. We've never had mass immigration outside of Ellis Island.
All right, so Ellis Island, okay, they were Italian and Irish immigrants that came here. That was before the welfare state. So
this country has always been a welfare state, but I'm not. What's your point, though?
Because okay, and so now we do have a welfare state. So this
country has always had a welfare state,
and they go on and what?
This country's always been a welfare state.
No, it hasn't. There was no welfare before 1917.
This country's always been a welfare state.
All right. Good luck. Well, you're
wrong. I know you don't have anything to actually say. You just say nah, right?
You're wrong. I don't
prove it.
Want me to, point to a website. That's all you
I don't need you to point to a website, because you want to actually say about you want to actually tell me about the Social Security safety nets. You want to talk about the social safety nets put in by the federal government, right? That's what you're claiming to be welfare, not that the actuality of how the federal government has been aiding the citizens, quote unquote, throughout throughout the inception of the United States, right? It's actually a welfare state, specifically for white Americans. I believe, if correct me if I'm wrong, but did not white people get reparations for slavery? Welfare. Anyways, so get back to immigration, though, right? You're asking me about mass immigration. Mass immigration, even in the idea, would be a net positive on the United States of America.
Hang on. So the problem is, we could look at it culturally, we could look at it economically, but the problem is
you should really stop saying shit about culture, because you don't fucking know what that means.
Quit interrupting me.
No.
Shut up.
W's in the chat to Cherry for the $5 PayPal.
Okay.
A boba bitch. Keep up the good work, my friend. I appreciate you. Big W's in the chat to Cherry. Big W's in the chat to Cherry. Appreciate your support. Yeah, the running works too. Guys, I just want to let y'all know. That I started off the conversation with that bigoted piece of shit. Civilly and cordially, and I chose to maintain being that way for almost the entirety of that conversation. I just want to point out that I haven't crashed out yet, and I think that's fucking amazing. W's to me. Apparently y'all know him. I don't know who the fuck that was. I have no idea who that was. Do you know him, Manny?
I've seen him on panels. Usually when I come up, he crashes out and then he leaves.
Huh. Interesting. All right. So there was that. You
can go ahead and drop me from the algo. Yeah. My bad for getting you violated.
I don't give a shit. I actually don't give a shit. Because we're about 7 minutes from when I was going to end anyway, and I'll make it earlier if we don't get another op. So, Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people that I want to have a conversation with. If you think we can find common ground on something, then you're more than welcome to request up. In fact, I see a couple interesting people in the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and help you along. There you go. You can now speak when you request up. Okay. To you as well. You can speak when you request up. And let's see what we got. Common Ground Live. That's what this is. And to answer my own background here, could I have possibly found common ground with a racist, white, nationalist, xenophobic sack of crap such as Nate? The answer is no. The answer is fucking no. He already made correlations between immigrants and crime, immigrants and lower pay, which would be up to really corporations, not the immigrants. Immigrants and American culture. Notice how he didn't answer my question when I asked him what about their culture would threaten American culture. And let me go ahead and do my ramble, because no one's in the box anyway. We're about to end if no one comes up. The reason why they typically can't answer that, because they don't know what the fuck American culture is. What the fuck is American culture? I'm curious. What does that look like? And better yet, how does someone from Somalia threaten it? You can barely say what American culture is. You can't substantiate that, but then you want to make an argument that other people from other countries somehow threaten it. That's why he didn't answer the question. Granted, he didn't answer most of the questions I asked, so there's that. It's really sad. It's so sad how fragile these people are. Fragile. I've been doing this on live several times, several lives, and I started like opening up with it oftentimes when I'm talking to people about immigration, especially when it comes to jobs. No migrant, or other American for that matter, is threatening this that I do here. They're not threatening my job. If an undocumented migrant is threatening your job, maybe you should get good. Maybe you should step your game up. Maybe you should stop being so pathetic. Especially coming from the party of masculine men, strengthened men. We're the biggest, we're the toughest, nobody can beat us, America first. War dog warriors. How are you such war dog warriors, but you're a bunch of fucking... You're a bunch of lip pee-pee chicken shits who look at old fucking whoever the hell they are down the street, who came here with nothing, built his house, built his family, got his job and everything else, and that embarrasses you because you know you can never keep up even if you fucking try. That's all it is. The conversation around immigration is about them being a threat to white American mediocrity. Never forget that. Wannabe Spartans, exactly. Never forget that. The argument against immigration from these people is that they are a threat to white mediocrity. Anyways, I don't think we can get anyone else up. Go ahead and say your piece, Manny.
Yeah, so we were in Blues Live, and we were trying to figure out if we could all have cabinet positions where we would put each other, and I didn't know where to put you. So I think we landed on you just being the chief of staff, because you like to yell at people and you could keep us all on track. Anyways, I gotta go. Love y'all.
You know what?
Stay safe.
If I was in a cabinet position, I'm trying to think. If I was to be in a cabinet position, where would I want to be? So the first thing that came to my mind would be the press secretary for the White House. Not because I think my full talents would be best used there, but I do think I'd be awfully fucking good at answering questions directly, specifically, and calling out the nonsense that's being said. I personally think I would be good in that position. The only problem with that is that I can see myself getting the White House into some trouble with having a quote unquote lack of decorum with how I answer said questions. That's the only thing I will say. Outside of that, if I was to think of another position, I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think would be a good position for me? I'm curious. What do you guys think would be a good position for me? I'll let y'all be the judge. What's up, Martina?
You could be chief yeller at assholes.
Secretary of the Interior.
Secretary of abolishing racism. I don't know.
What?
I'm trying to think of like what would be where you could just yell at people. I would say you could be like the attorney general, but you got to get a law degree first.
Secretary of I'm leaving that alone. Sorry. I'm trying to think. Presidente? Absolutely the fuck not. Would I make a great president? Maybe. I don't know if I'd want it. You know what? I think I would make a pretty good Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
I think I'd make a pretty good Speaker of the House.
Would you want to be VP? Or like, I don't know. I feel like you wouldn't love that.
I wouldn't, but the only reason why I think I kind of would be open to that is because I would like to drastically change how people view the VP. Kind of like how Kamala Harris did. Like Kamala's came and she is now the most accomplished vice president we've ever had. And the most recognized. Granted, she was recognized for the wrong reasons, but I would like to expand on that as a VP. So I think that would be something I would do. Like I would want to be the most named or memorable VP ever, based off the shit that I did and said. That would be fun.
I'm trying to think of like what role would allow you to just debate like bigots and assholes.
None officially. In the government?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I mean, I guess on the House floor you could debate people on it.
Yeah, so yeah, I'd have to be a congressman or a senator. I was also gonna say, the committee. We can do the committee before the bill comes out to the floor. Ooh, never mind. I think that's where I would be the best suited if I was to take a role in the government. The people who debate whether bills come to the floor for a vote in the committee, put me there. Put me there. Because a lot of the bills, yes, but a lot of the bills that just sit around, linger around, and never see the light of day, put me in that room arguing against these fuckers and their stupidity. Put me in that room. I think I would do the most damage there. Absolutely.
But why not president?
Mm.
You don't want to push the button?
See, I think, no, so I don't think I have the demeanor for president. That's what I don't think I have the demeanor for president.
The current president is a PDF file, former shitty reality TV star who lies and cusses.
Well, sure, because they disregarded all of the rules. Absolutely. By all means. They don't give a fuck about decorum anymore. But there's a difference between him doing it and me doing it. We know the reasons why. Because with me, this is some shit I would do. I was just watching President Trump's speech in Congress when he spoke to Republicans and Democrats after he won. and the decorum and the like the bipartisanship and the way he spoke to them was so cool. And that's not what I would do. Or better yet, I would. Here's the problem. I would open up that way, and then I'd leave a thread at the end. This is some shit I would do, okay? I'd be like, hey, I just want to let you know, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for giving me a position to be your president, and I want to work with everyone, regardless of what side of the aisle you're on, to fix this country. And if any one of you Republicans threaten my mission to fix this country for all people, I'm going to ensure that you don't have a seat next midterms. Fuck off. And to everyone else who does, come up here and shake my hand. I'd do some shit like that. I'd make a whole fucking stunt out of it. And then they try to impeach me. They would try to impeach me with the quickness, bro. Who the fuck does he think he's talking to? That is some shit I would do. That is some shit I would do. I would just be threatening people left and right. I really would. I really would. Not Trump threatening, which is actually a problem. I would just threaten people. I'd be like, I'm going to make posts telling people to primary you. I would nitpick at Republican senators, Republican congressmen, and their voting records and their personal lives, and I would post about it to millions of people on social media and be like, this the guy y'all voted for? Vote him out. Vote him out. I just
You're
pick at
talking
everybody.
about being like the whip, the vote whip?
Huh?
Like there's like the majority leader, the minority leader, and then both parties have whips, which like go around whipping votes to get people to vote yes or no on something.
No, I'm talking about if I was a president, I would just make posts like telling people how like who to vote out. Yeah, that would be some shit I would do. Because here's the thing. I have a hot take, a very hot take. There's a lot of things we can learn from Trump. Absolutely. There's a lot of things we can learn from Trump. We may not like how he's doing it, how he's picking at people, but there's things we can learn from Trump. What I do like about Trump is him putting a spotlight on his opponents and getting people to view them that way. Because there's so many like city councilmen and whatnot that the average American would not know their name or have the time of day to hate or love them if Trump didn't post them in a tweet. I think we need to have that same energy in the Democratic Party when it comes to mediocre Republicans in any seat or any position. I think we need to start putting them on blast. Hey, this person's been in this seat. They haven't done this. They have done this. It's harmed you. Fuck them. Get them out. I think the president should absolutely do that. Maybe in a nicer way. Maybe in a nicer way. We need to bring more things to light. Because that's one thing that Donald Trump is complimented on, is bringing things to light. It's really bullshit, but I respect the sentiment. There's a lot more things that need to be brought to light. And I think Democrats need to do a better job of that.
Manda is really good at deciding what position people should have in the government. This is like Manda's favorite topic.
I do want to hear about this in a second, but really quick, W's in the chat from Miss Donna. Hi, Miss Donna, for the $5 super chat. Callers should only eat at Cracker Barrel and Denny's. He should be refused service at any non-white culture establishment, period. Love you, Hector. 6,000%. I'm of the firm belief, and this would be actually, no, they'd get sued out of oblivion. Imagine a world where you walk into a restaurant with some culture, with some seasoning, and somebody goes, hey, welcome in. You here to set a reservation? They say, yeah, we'll wait on the table. We say, okay, cool. Can you show me your voting record, please? Why do you need to see my voting record? Well, it's very important to see your voting. Well, I voted for Trump. Ooh, can't let you in here. Can't let you in here. You see, you voted against this flavor, so we can't let you enjoy it now. Be consistent. Stick with your vote. Have a good day. That's some shit that needs to happen here in the United States. I'm obviously joking. Anyway, hi, Amanda.
Hey, friends.
What's
I
up?
was thinking, well, I was thinking, right? I was thinking you could deal with you'd be really good at dealing with international leaders, right? So you'd be like a good Secretary of State because if somebody's trying to pull over some bullshit, you'd call them out on it, and you do it in a diplomatic way. Because you'd get to debate, you'd get to call people out on their shit, like a Putin or somebody, So
that is an important skill set to have internationally. That's why Hillary Clinton was so successful with it.
Yeah.
Like don't let that campaign trail in 2016 fool you. Hillary was a savage. She absolutely was a savage. Feel how you want to feel about her, especially in regards to Bill Clinton. That's fair. I'm not necessarily complimenting her character. I think it was better than Trump's. However, yeah, if there's one thing she got done is telling people off internationally.
But when you were saying you wanted to be the person to push bills to get on the floor or whatever, So, like, do you want to run for Congress? Would you want to be in Congress, or in the House or the Senate?
I don't want to be in any of those seats, but I'm saying if I were to do it, Congress would be probably somewhere I would focus on, because there's so much that's put on the president, and we need to put more of a focus on Congress, because a lot of the things that we want start there, regardless of who's in the Oval Office.
Yeah. Well, and it really sucks though, because like if you're a Democrat, right? If Republicans are the majority, you don't have a lot of power, which sucks. And you have to draft bills like you're going to be in power, hopefully someday. But like you can't do anything. Like you're at their mercy, at the majority's mercy, which sucks. Sorry, my voice is crazy. I have a cold.
Oh, all good. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I don't know. I said some dumb shit earlier, but essentially I just wanted a place where Hector could read people for filth.
No, for sure.
So I was trying to figure out what the title of like professional read everybody for filther is.
I don't think that position exists anywhere in the government or anything of the like. The best place I can think of is being on the debate floor. Of Congress.
Press secretary if you have shitty press ops.
Yeah.
And you would get to, like, if you were in Congress, you would get to debate bills, which is that would be really fun, I would think.
I do think that would be great, because I've watched some Democrats debate many of the bills and the things that are being said, and I have a couple of videos on this. Whenever I do watch some of these hearings, I am utterly disgusted at how like openly Republicans boldface lie in those rooms, and it's also pathetic how Democrats do not properly combat it. Because as you guys have seen here in these lives, the second you say something, you don't get to move on from that. I'm like, no, substantiate that, clarify it, blah, blah, blah. And we know Republicans won't, and definitely get away with it in Congress. I would be the guy to get up during my time and be, yeah, so this took 2 seconds to Google. That's wrong. That's some shit I would do in Congress. That's some shit I think we need.
100%. Go ahead, Martina.
No, I was just going to say, watching the floor of Congress, I'm like, this shit isn't debates. This isn't a floor debate. This is everybody talking for 2 to 5 minutes and nobody getting fact checked. Like, what the fuck?
Literally.
100%.
Real quickly, we're gonna wrap up here, guys. So we just have 9 more of these crowns. 9 more of these crowns. Let's knock this out before we head on out. Go ahead, Amanda.
When a Democrat, I'm learning this too with my new role and stuff, is like when a Democrat knows a Republican or vice versa, like when you know that person's bill better than they do, it's really a nice dunk, you know? And it really does show constituents like who actually is, who cares about how bills will affect them. Because if it doesn't matter if you introduce the bill or not, you should know how it's going to affect people.
Absolutely. 6,000%. A lot of these people are voting on shit that they don't even know. They don't even know how it works. They don't even know how it would impact people. And that's ridiculous.
People introduce bills without even understanding how the bill works.
Without fucking reading them. Thank you, Gucci, for the crowns. I appreciate you. That leaves us with 6 more crowns. 6 more crowns, guys. Final goal of the night. Thank you for going above and beyond and knocking out our tip donation goal. And now we just have this last one with the crowns. W's Brett for the crown. Appreciate you. W's Brett. Actually, I'm gonna ask Brett. Brett, what position do you think I'd be good at in our government? I'm curious to see what your answer would be. Gorlami, what's up?
Oh, not much. I was gonna say that obviously oversight committee member, that'd be the spot. That'd be like what Crockett does in AOC, like when they are actually busting the fuck out of those guys whenever they start lying, like bold-faced lies, clearly. And what's wrong with running, by the way? Like, what's wrong with running?
I didn't say anything wrong with running. I just don't. That's that's the last place I'm thinking of going to. Let me tell you what it really is, guys. Let me tell you what it really is. I've spent a large portion of my life working my ass off. And the thought of getting to a place to where I'm comfortable and then spending it doing this shit back and forth on that level is infuriating to me. I know that I'd be good at it, but oh my God, that just seems like I'm signing away my life. Like the time I'm supposed to be spending recuperating all the shit that I lost in my childhood and everything else, I'm going to be spending arguing with fucking stupid Republicans. Oh my God. But better yet, not even just Republicans, Democrats. I think I'll just say this: within the little over a year that I've been doing this on TikTok and Tube and everything else, and being some of the protests and events that I have, the frustration I've gotten from Democrats, the frustration I've gotten from some people on the left, it's damn near in the same place when it comes to Republicans and MAGA. I'm not gonna lie to you. So that's like double, because you have one side like holding back progress, being mediocre, and you have the other side who just are being even worse than that, not giving a fuck. It's politics is not easy. This shit is not easy. I could not imagine being in any position where you're actually looking face to face with the people who make decisions that harm us and being basically powerless to do much about it. That must be an infuriating existence.
I actually I do agree with that 100%, especially now that like I've learned about the rules of the DCCC. Yeah, it is terrifying knowing that if I win, I'll have to adhere to that, being that I was running under the Democratic Party. So,
hey Flynn, I want you to come up here. I sent you this invite. Flynn said it is easier for a white liberal and any MAGA to agree than for a person of color who loves themselves. You want to elaborate on that comment?
Sure. Why would a person of color, meaning not white person, given all the things that we've seen of Trump and his administration, why in the world would we easily agree or more readily agree with any of the things that he has put forward or with those who support him?
I don't know what hold on a second. Tube, it looks like we're going into lag central, and that's fine because we are about to wrap up. I appreciate every last one of you over on the Tube side, but I am going to end it to preserve the stream over here. If anyone wants to hear what this individual has to say, just come on over to the TikTok side. It's the exact same username, Hector Talks with 2 R's. Hector Talks with 2 R's. Come on over to this side because now it's starting to lag a little bit too badly. Thank you so much for all your support and love, and I will catch y'all in the next stream, which will be tomorrow. Tomorrow will be MAGA hunting, so I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much.